In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make $10,000 a month as a high-priced, in-demand barber. This is a full-length course for free. Charging high prices as a barber completely changed my life, and it's allowed me from working at KFC, being broke cutting hair, and being scared to charge more than $30 a cut, to now consistently making $10,000 a month, charging over $200 a haircut, and having my calendar booked out for months at a time. Knowing how to charge high prices has also changed lives of hundreds of other barbers I've helped with the exact same blueprint I'm about to share with you today. Like Kevin Luck, within 3 months, we took Kevin's account from 1,300 followers charging $75 to 47,000 followers and now charging $150 a haircut, adding an extra $100K to his annual salary within just 3 months. And Brooklyn was on $70 a cut with 4.5K followers to now 10,000 followers and increased his haircut prices to $120 a cut. This is literally a $50 increase to his original haircut price in just 3 months. And we took Hoku's account, 700 followers, only averaging under 5K a video, to 35,000 followers, consistently now averaging 400Ks per video. As you can see, there have been hundreds of regular barbers who have completely changed their lives through knowing how to charge more as a barber while getting booked out for months on end, and you can do the same. This is going to be my longest video yet, and there's going to be a ton of value in here, so make sure you take notes, remove all distractions when going through this course. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, so let's hop straight into it. So why should you even listen to me? I grew my following from 0 to 1.3 million followers in 11 months. And I was able to go from $30 a haircut to $250 for a haircut. This was my Shake Shack where I was cutting, now charging $250 plus, right? And actually being one of the highest charging barbers in the world. Making 25K per month as a barber, and also having days up to 2.2K in just one day. Look, changed my life through barbering. Went from working at KFC to living a lifestyle where I'm able to afford and help my family and travel and do beautiful things where I'm super grateful. And I'm sharing this with you guys to not to brag, but to share with you the potential that this barbering industry holds. Just to show you that it just wasn't a fluke and that I can do it for other people, including you, is that Kevin Luck, within 3 months, we took his account from 1.3K followers, charging $70 a haircut, to now 47,000 followers, $150 a haircut, and booked out at 2 months in advance at this price point of $150 a haircut. Also, some bonuses is that 42K subscribers gained and consistently generating 250 views per video. Brooklyn as well, $70 a haircut at 4.5K followers, averaging 5K views per video. Look, these were like not as the greatest videos. Then working with us, we got him to 10K followers, increased his prices from 70 to 120, now averaging 40 to 50K per video. Honestly, this could go on for a while, so let's stop here. So now that you know that I'm not full of crap, let's talk about how we can get you to 10K a month. To make this hour-long video, I've spent over the past 3 weeks building this, spending like 8 hours a day. And over these past 3 to 4 weeks, I've done some research on you. You don't get enough clientele, even though your prices are like relatively low. You seem to have no clear direction when it comes to raising prices, and you have no idea how all these barbers charge ridiculous amounts for their haircuts while you're still under $50 a cut. I understand, because I once was at $35 a cut as well, and I was afraid. I was in my head about like, how do I even raise my prices? How do I post content? How do I even like grow as a barber? And with your social media, you have no clear direction when it comes to posting content, and you're probably hardly started building your social media, or you're inconsistent with it. And that's fine, because you haven't learned the right skills and knowledge to make barbering content to show your work. You've probably tried to replicate what other barbers are doing, and maybe you even think that your content is actually quite like decent, maybe a bit better than the people around you. But despite this, your views, your likes and results and social media are still low. Finally, let's not forget about our personal life. At the end of the day, we all have a life outside of barbering. So balancing this with editing, your family, personal issues at home, gym, things you got going on, at the same time, it's hard. And on top of that, you have the drive to escape the rat race. Take the entrepreneurial route as a barber so you continue to push. Look, it's not your fault. It's okay. You're not behind. There has been a huge increase in the barbering market because of the opportunity that this industry holds. And don't worry, the barber stocks bull run has only just begun. So, to help you with this, welcome to the Barber Playbook. What we're going to be covering in this course, and I structured this super clearly and in depth so you can understand this in sections. First is we have quick wins, camera iPhone settings, booking app, optimizing your IG bio, starting with your personal brand. Second is step 1 to building a reputable barber brand through showcasing a content style that has haircut quality and your camera work skill set. Next is lighting fundamentals, and this is the lighting blueprint to get flawless lighting regardless of your studio. Speed up your skill set through this content style, which is a step-by-step to creating action reels, which is the #1 haircutting content. We'll be covering the proven formula to increase clientele through creating voiceover content to provide value to our audience. Next is the clientele generating machine, which is the playbook to creating viral consultations to convert viewers into clients. Then I'm gonna give you guys techniques and tips to edit videos 3.5 times faster by simplifying editing content style into easy stages to follow and teaching specific editing techniques. Then we're going to be going over your content and your recording strategy, the guide to turning your everyday routine into a consistent content engine. After outlining becoming a 10K worthy person by explaining what's it required to transform yourself from 0 to 10K person. After that, we're going to be going over the roadmap timeline to 25K per month as a barber, sharing the lessons that I learned at each revenue milestone in this section. Then I'm going to be giving you a concrete barber planner to generate consistent results through this barber schedule. One of our final ones is building a loyal barbering clientele through proven strategies to increase client retention and provide a standout service. And last but definitely not least, is how to raise your prices as a barber through a proven blueprint to scale your haircut prices. So stay to the end to see how you can actually scale your business. So obviously this is not for you monkey brains out there, and for the people that are willing to grow and are willing to push to grow their barbering business, let's get into it. The high ticket barber. Mastering the skill of capturing attention is the best skill that you can learn in 2025. Why? It's because everyone is glued to their phones. It's an attention economy. If you learn how to convert strangers into buyers, posting content and creating content, recording, editing, and strategizing content, you will print money. And there's 2 ways to truly grow your barber business. It's very simple. First way is simply get more clients, more traffic, and advertise better. That's how we get more clients, and make your clients worth more by raising your prices and increase a scalable service. The thing is that if you're not doing one of these things, you are not making money. Let's see how this actually goes into theory. So this is the high ticket barber business model. Let's look at right here. First, we get clients through the door by posting content. When we post content, we get traffic. And when we get traffic, we convert them into more clients. And after when we get more clients, we're able to improve our quality in our product, which is our haircut quality, and our service, which is our experience, right? Once it does a full round of circle like this, we are able to go into growth. And when it goes into the high ticket barber business model and we are at a certain level, we can increase our prices. When we increase our prices, we have more time, more freedom, and we're able to do higher leverage tasks, right? Meaning that like our time is more valuable and we can do things that actually push the business, such as improving our marketing and content. We create content systems, we create automation so we have higher leverage on time, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be cutting all the time. We don't want to be editing the whole way. We create systems to allow us to have a leverage task, right? Leverage time. Through this, we're able to have delegation, outsourcing tasks, and this feeds into more traffic because we have higher marketing and better content. It just goes like boom. Once we do this more, we are able to grow faster and create a scaling system to grow. This right here is literally how I was able to go from $90 a cut to $250 in less than 6 months once I figured out this system. That's why it's so important that the rest of this whole video is focused on content, getting clientele, and increasing your haircut quality to improve your service as a barber in order to scale. Let's hop into it. I'm gonna give you some quick wins now for 2 reasons. Give you some simple and effective tips today so you can notice some quick results. And second, throughout this course, it's really important. So I want to scratch your itch now and expecting these quick wins to buy your time by giving you what you want now in this section so then you can pay attention for the rest of the course. Deal? So first, iPhone camera settings, right? To have a really nice quality and crispy video, we're going to change our camera settings. First, go to Format, Camera Capture, and Highest Compatibility. This will make your image and your videos a bit higher in file size, but it's gonna make it super crispy. Then, change your record video to 4K 30 FPS. Make sure it's 30, not 60. HDR on off, because it looks good, but when you post it, it doesn't look great. So now put on grid so you can master composition, and then lens correction and macro on. And then make sure that every time you record, you have to wipe your lens every time, right? Every time you press record. When you export your videos, like let's say you're on your editing app, you want to export this in 1080p and 30 FPS. Now, let's look at booking apps, okay? I've got 2 booking apps, and you should be in a booking app right now because your booking app is available 24/7 instead of managing one DM. You don't have to go through and text because your availability is open for the public to see and they can book anytime. This makes you more scalable, right? Scalable means you have to do less for your business to grow more, okay? 2 options is Square and then Squire. The reason why I picked these 2 is because Square is what I use personally, so it's super nice. I've listed some reasons why you should get it. And Squire is because I've seen a lot of barbers use it and I've heard great things, so I can't say much if I don't use it. I only give you advice when I know 100%. So this is a recommendation by Popular. This is a recommendation from what I use. If you're on a shop, make your own booking link, right? Because it builds your own personal brand and future-proofs you. And it also trains your clientele to go towards your personal brand and your business. Because if you're in a barbershop, the common thing is that they're not your clients. They're the shop's clients. So this is a quick way to get clients to go to you first. Now, length of appointment times. You should have at least an hour to record minimum because you're able to deliver a high quality haircut. People always obsess over quality cut, but they don't even understand what quality requires. Quality requires energy. And what energy is how much time you spend on something and how much effort you spend on something. Let's say you're putting a lot of effort in your cuts, but you don't have enough time. So one piece of the puzzle is missing. And the thing is that where barbers go wrong is that they trade long-term success for short-term money. You see, this is the rut and the trap of the barber going into shops and going into their own private studio is that they try to make quick money. At the end of the day, you're just a wagey then. You're just a person that works 9 to 5 and you're pretty much not far off from the rat race. Doing this, a first quick step is that adding 5 to 15 minutes to your appointment time will allow you to build skills and learn things that require you to grow rather than a quick buck. And this is the reason why barbering is considered a side hustle and just not really considered a profession, is because majority of barbers, they treat it like a quick buck. They don't think of it as a profession where you're able to actually make doctor type money. Now let's go into IG bio and IG handle. Your IG bio and your IG handle, it's the first impression of your account. So it should be clear, easy to understand, and structured. And people should be easily able to book with you with minimal steps. And where barbers go wrong is that they have repetition of the same username. It's cluttered and it's not structured where it's just one line. And there's no CTA where there's no idea where the client, how to convert. They either have to call them up or DM to book. The client doesn't know how to book with you. So this is a 3-step guide to optimize your IG bio. First, your IG bio should always display your social proof and why clients should either trust you, book with you, follow you, listen to you, engage with you, right? So let's have a look at my IG bio real quick. So the first line, I have made 25K per month as a barber. So that shows that I can make money in this industry and I know how to run it to scale a business. So that's why you should listen to me. My second line shows that I have generated over 500 million inorganic views. So it knows that I know how to make videos blow and capture your attention. And then third is that I've helped 300 other barbers do the same. And that shows that people should listen to me and engage with me because, I have social proof. I'll show you how to actually do this as a barber, which would be more applicable to you. Next is that it should be clear, easy to understand, and structured. So using separators such as these right here, you can use emojis and dots, creates some professionalism, makes it look real nice. Your booking link now. It should be clearly able to click on a link with minimal steps. meaning that like they don't have to go through a link tree. They don't have to go through so many links to book with you. So you should only have 2 to 3 services, which is like haircut and beard, and maybe haircut design or eyebrows or something like that. This is an activity for you to do right now. Pretend you're your client trying to book with you after they've seen your like content, and then see how they can book with you. So how many steps does it take for you to actually book with you? Sometimes it will take like 3, 4, 5 steps. They have to call, they have to enter the number. That's a bunch of steps. All you want to do is booking link, click, boom, it converts super easy. This is a format that, for example, for the username, you put your city name, which is where you're from. So for example, I'll put Melbourne Barber and then my full name. The reason why is because when someone, let's say, lands into like Australia, lands into a particular place, they search up the city and then the barber when they're looking for a barber to cut their hair. So that's where you're able to optimize with your search engine optimization to be the first one to be like on the top of their list. Then you show your best social proof, which is like something like if you're a licensed barber, you say that. If you're not licensed, just say you're a professional barber. And if you've been in the game for like, let's say 2, 3+ years, you write 3 years as a professional barber. That shows people your authority, your like status, and you're able to take care of them. Then you put your city. Like don't put the main, like the local city, put the big city, meaning that like the whole town. So for example, it would be like Florida, Miami, right? Something like that. And then you put appointments, click link below. And then on TikTok, you want them to convert from TikTok over to IG because TikTok has a lower quality audience and IG has a higher quality audience. So you want to convert all of those lower quality to high quality as soon as they get into Instagram. Now, let's talk about a fire IG handle. So one of the big things is that barbering is more competitive now. And the thing is that barbers are looking like each other more and more, and they're becoming in the abyss of like everyone else. A clear indication of this is blends, fades by, cuts by. This doesn't really separate you from everyone else. So you should find something unique to you, something saucy that has a ring towards it. And if you can't find an IG handle, your full name or nickname can never go wrong. I wrote this version of an IG bio. So for example, Hakeem the Beam. It has a nice ring towards it. It shows my name. It has like, it's not really related to like cuts or blends. Next is Melbourne Barber. When someone's in Melbourne, they'll search this up. I'll come up first. Hakeem Hong, my full name. Then 5 years as a professional barber. And then Melbourne AU. Appointments, link below, my booking link. Boom, super simple. Now let's talk about profile picture. People want to see the face behind the brand. They don't want to see a logo because the logo doesn't create any connection. A face allows them to be connected towards the person behind the brand. Having a clear shoulder to face is very good. One of the steps to building a personal brand is some of you guys don't have photos of yourself. Probably you only have like haircut photos. So what to do is getting a one-time videographer, because getting high quality images will really separate yourself because it shows professionalism, it shows authority, it separates you from regular barbers around you into a more premium barber because the way that you've shown yourself. And these photos are super nice, right? You can get them for like $50 an hour. And then you can pay $50 and then come in, tell your client, one of your best looking clients and one of the best haircuts, tell them to come in while you get the photographer in there with you. And this can be used for like profile pictures, your booking app, price raise photos eventually when you finish this course, and you'll be able to raise your prices through the knowledge I'm about to give. And showing up at events, maybe you're going to like a certain competition, maybe you're going to certain like events where it's important. You can use those photos and it develops a higher quality like brand. I put down a script right here. You can say this to like one of the people on Upwork. So Upwork is basically a website where you can get people for literally $50 an hour, and you literally search up photographer in your city. You message them and it's super easy to do. Just send them this script and set it in. You'll be able to have fire photos like this. And I remember when I first put these out, like instantly authority and professionalism was shown. So if you made it this far, I want to congratulate you for not being a monkey brain. And now let's get into the real gems. Our first content style is called showcases, right? And I was able to improve my quality of my haircuts to an insane level and literally get booked out at $45 a cut just from posting haircut showcase videos. And I've generated over 100 million organic views with this content style. So if you look here, 17 million, 13 million, 11 million, with just showcases. So what is a showcase? It has two components. The first component is the haircut quality. The lineup is crispy, the shape is symmetrical, the styling is textured, nice on point. The fade has insane gradients, right? The overall product. This is our product right here. The second component of the showcase is camera work skills, which is the angle of the camera, how nice and flawless the lighting is, and how like the background is. So these two make up a showcase. Think of this like your portfolio. Think of it like the after of a haircut, the final presentation, the end product, right? And what will you gain doing this content style? You would gain the ability to present your work in the best possible light, making everything detailed and dialed in, ready for Instagram worthy video. And regardless of any experience level, this never stops improving your product, which is the quality of your cut and how well you record that cut. Right? So when you're doing this, you're balancing your haircut quality and your showcase skills. And this is the thing, majority of barbers have a really good product and a really good haircut quality, but they don't showcase it. It's like a talented artist that doesn't show their work. If you're a talented artist, no one knows about you, no one cares. So you're missing one piece of the puzzle. Next, you will gain the essential camera work skills. You're going to be able to develop skills that are crucial in filming and editing, and every piece of barber content style includes showcasing. And learning this will make future projects easier, and you'll be able to learn basic lighting. And then people always ask me like, how do I get quality of my videos better? But in reality, 50 to 70% of your quality of your video lies in the lighting. Where most people go wrong is that they post before and afters without no improvement feedback each time, or they don't capture any emotion or how the client feels, like how confident the client feels after. And when they do this content style, they stay complacent on posting these and don't want to level up because they just post before and afters and that's it. Not realizing that this is only a building block to your skill set. It's not the end all, right? So I'm gonna go over the tools required. So all you need is just two things. An iPhone 12 Pro and up, and a 19-inch ring light. The better the light source, the brighter, the better, okay? I'll put some links here. This is the personal one that I use. I love it. I'm actually using it right now. And I'm going to share with you one technique that will not only increase your showcase ability, but your haircut quality as well. How do you even do these showcases? So when you're recording your end product, you have physical movement. So each clip that you record and you press, you have an in and out movement where you're going in and then you're going out. So it creates a zoom effect. Next is the left to right. So you're going left and then right. And then the third component of physical movement is rotation. So rotating this way, right? And then rotating this way. When you're getting advanced at this and you're like learning this, is that you have a combination of both. So for example, I can be going in and then to the right, or I could going out and then going left. And then during this, I can go rotate like in and then out. But the thing is that where barbers go wrong is that they do too drastic or they turn to you want real smooth, milky and creamy showcases. And how you do this is you want your elbows locked in. So when I'm recording these showcases, I have my elbows right into my like hip and I'm locking it in there, and my leg movement is real flowy. So I'm able to get that nice like bass, and I can move my body, not move the phone, because when I move the phone like this and I don't have my thing locked, it'd be real shaky in it, and that's majority of what barbers do. So allowing you to lock it in and actually learn this will allow you to have a smooth, controlled panning, and it's like having a slight orbit around like a head. Think about the sun, and when the earth rotates and orbits, it orbits in around the sun like that. Just like how you record content, your client's head, and you will orbit around it just like that as well, right? And making sure that every time you do this, you keep the client in the middle grid. That's why in the quick wins, I allowed you to put your iPhone settings to have that grid. Next, your showcase shot list. You see, in content, you should have a shot list and things to tick off, because how many times have you recorded content and you realize that you forgot to take something? So you call a shot list. So in this, we're going to start off. This is a beginner content style. So in future, we're going to be adding towards this. The first one is 3 before shots. Taking before of when the client is like unhappy, the problem of the client is exploited and not looking the best. So we want to capture emotion. So content is all about emotion, how we make the viewer feel. See, when we create a contrast and a visual impact where they can see like what has changed from a point B to point A, it can create a huge emotion which makes the video blow up. The before and after format has always like worked. in every like style. It's worked in, for example, rug cleaning. It worked in like lawn mowing, like all those clips that you see that of when you doom scroll, they work. They get millions and millions of views. So you get 3 before shots. Then you create 12 after shots with a big contrast in difference and the client displaying positive emotions. So the client's happy, the client's smiling, you get your client to smile. So then when the viewer sees that, they say like, wow, through his process and through going to him, he's able to have this confidence. So each clip should be 3 to 5 seconds. So you're going to roughly have, if we do the math, this is 15 seconds, this is 60. So we're having 1.5 like seconds of content, which is not a lot. So it's super beginner friendly content style. So now I'm going to give you some angles to equip now. Some angles that when you do record this, you can get these like confident and like nice showcases to highlight your work. The first one is called the head turn. So this head turn, where you tell them to look at the wall and then you're gonna tell them to turn into the camera and then smile, right? So I'm looking at the wall, I tell them, yo, look at the camera and smile. Like basically like that. And you're doing this on the left side and on the right side as well. Let me give you an example. So he's looking there and see how I started the video just where he's like starting to turn. You see people have a lot of dead space. So you want it turning straight away. See that? He's smiling, right? One showcasing the hair, boom, smiling. And during this, you want to tell him to have a little like head drag, right? Where you're like dragging, not just like that, right? And then during this, like how to actually get them to feel comfortable and get them to do it is that demonstrate to them how to do it. Like, yo, you can just do this, bro. I'll show you how to do it. You know what I mean? And show them how to do it. It gives them like a direction. I've included a link below so you can have all this whole doc and this whole like thing. This is all yours for free, right? Through the mirror now. This next confidence showcase, we're going to get them to look through the mirror. See how he's looking through the mirror, right? It creates like this very, very nice, like dreamy, more symmetrical type of feel. Because when you look through the mirror, they see what they see, right? So it's like this way of perception where sometimes you just look better in the mirror. Next is haircut showcases. These haircut showcases will display like how the haircut looks and how fire the cut is. So this is more about the client, and then this is more about the haircut. First one, we have the ear pull down side angle. I love this one. I personally think that this one like shows everything. And you do this by pulling the ear down, right, at the neckline line up, and exposes the gradients in the fade. So this showcases the fade, the silhouette, the crispy neck taper. So this is the crispy neck taper. The silhouette is basically how the shape is. This is when it comes to styling. See, styling is all about silhouette. It's about the shape. You see a lot of people have like shape, boom, like it's like everywhere. You want it to be nice, like even though it's nice and textured, it still has this super nice like curve towards it. See that? Boom. Next one is diagonally tilted. This one will capture the more of the styling and the shear work, right? Where you're diagonally facing your client on the diagonal side and you're going a little bit higher to show and focus on that texture. So right here, these are some examples. See how they capture the texture, capture the fade, really showcasing that haircut. And the thing with these showcases right here, we have confidence and haircut. We always want to do the confidence ones first, because how awkward is it when you record and your client is getting awkward, you're getting awkward because no one's talking, it's just silent because you're just recording. If you do the confidence first, there's no silence because you're G'ing them up. Like when someone gets a haircut and they're G'ing you up and you gave them a fire cut, like, and you say, yo, bro, you look like your smile looks great, man. Just give me a smile. Bro, they'll smile cheek to cheek. See, if you do the haircut first because you're going to be silent, the confidence won't be there. So you always want to do the hard thing first and then the easy one later. So the hard one is always the confidence first. So you do that first. Now, once you've recorded it, you've locked in these angles and you go into like posting it, there's different styles that you can do for showcasing. So the first style is a normal before and after. And you can put like captions over it where it's just single like before and then after, where you can do these type of captions. I put a ton down as well. And these are all links that have worked. You can put these in. These have done well by other creators in the barber industry. And what works, use it. Don't reinvent the wheel. And you can be creative with these as well, with these captions. The next type of style is a selection sequel. instead of just one singular client in this one, you have 3 to 4 multiple clients. And in this, you can get real creative where you're able to do like types of mid fades, types of tapers, types of wavy hair and textured styles. You can also do like who had the best transformation, who had the best taper, who rocked this style the best, where you get all these clients and you put it together. So that's called a selection sequel. Next is we have singular showcase with motivational music at the back. This style is where your haircut is so dialed in and you think that this is really good for people that think they have an 8 out of 10 haircuts, because if you just show off your haircut like a portfolio, you're able to really show your work through this content style where you put motivational music at the back. You can show you styling it. You can show you like pretend like you're cutting it or like doing the lineup or like fixing your client's head and like getting nice angles. So that's 3 ways to do content styles. But the thing is that you can have like all these steps, but if you don't get your lighting right, then you disqualify your video by 70%. The quality goes down by 50 to 70%. And people always ask me, how do I increase the quality of my videos? You can literally increase the quality of your videos by 50 to 70%, even if you have a potato iPhone. You see, when I blew up, I got to 50K followers on Instagram using just my iPhone 10. 80% of barbers have bad lighting. They either have camera glare and lens glare. Looks like they recorded that out of a potato. Their client is not bright enough or too dark, like this is underexposed, or the light is blown out. You see how here it's super blown out, and see how here is blown out where it doesn't, like it's not pleasing to the eye. You see, all of these barbers, these 80% of barbers, they lack this one technique. It's called the one direction lighting, okay? So let's walk through the one direction lighting where I literally mapped out everything for you. First principle of lighting is light direction. You see, if you have one ring light, you will go in between your ring light and go one direction in here. You see how there's one light, there's one direction. Makes sense, right? This would be bad, where you have your ring light and then you're going against it. See that? It's not one direction, it's 2. So that's bad, it causes glare. Next is if you have 2 lights, you place it on your both shoulder and both lights are going one direction. They're going the same way. This would be bad. This is going one way and then in the opposite way. So this way it's good, this way is bad. Big no. Now, if we have a window, where will we go? If we have a window right here, where should you go? Let me know. Here, 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 or here? If you picked this way, you are correct, because see how this window is going this way and this is going together with it, right? Everything is going one direction. It makes sense, right? You see, if you picked this, this will be bad because you're going against it. Even though this light source may be far away, maybe you might think it's okay, it's not, because it will heavily impact your quality of your video. Lighting is 50 to 70%. Let's look at this one now. Let's look at this. See, if there was lighting going this way and then this way, you'd be conflicted, right? Like, where do I go? You have to find a happy medium. So you would go in between here because you just find the most optimal place, because this one, at least it's going the same way where it's not going into it. You see? And for some reason, let's say you have so many freaking windows, right? You would use block out curtains to take out all that unnecessary light and just use one. So that's a very extreme case, but I literally made this so then this would fit every single person's like studio lighting setup, okay? That's called the one light direction. Now let's talk about angle of light now. Angle of light is how height of it is, okay? So the first angle is when it's too low. You see, when it's too low like this, it's capturing the neck area, which creates this effect where it's like the double chin super exposed. Kind of almost looks like an underglow of spooky, so it's not attractive. And then when it's too high, when you have it too high like on top, it creates raccoon eyes. See, that's not a flattering look because it creates this like what raccoons have in their thing. Next is what is the optimal light to showcase your client. This is showcasing the client right here, is getting a 45-degree angle tilting down like this where you create a drop shadow. You see, a lot of barbers, they do that 45, but don't pay attention to the drop shadow to enhance showcasing the client here. The reason why this drop shadow is so great is because it creates a more flattering look. It looks more attractive and it creates that nice jawline look. Exactly what I'm doing in my lighting right here where there's a bit of shadow. You can either place it 45 or even a bit higher down to like let's say 65, right? Now let's talk about showcasing the haircut. You see, a lot of people, they have downlight. Downlight is basically the ceiling lights or any type of light that's coming down at a parallel going straight down. So literally your light bulb that you probably have on right now, this light is good, boom, boom. But the lighting is going not in one direction. It's like an opposite. It's going boom, boom, but it counteracts that one. So it's bad. What happens when we have downlighting? When you have downlighting, it goes down like this and it creates shadows. We have light coming down and you see how this first hair, let's say this is a 3 guard or 4 guard. If you have even more weight on there, the more shadows create, not showing its true length. You see, when you have flat lighting to showcase the haircut, like the fade, the lineup, like the overall haircut, when it's flat lighting, it's evenly exposed. You see how it's evenly exposed and it could capture everything at its true length? That's when we angle it like parallel. You see how this is parallel? We angle the client a little bit and then we capture the lighting coming up like this, so then we can have this nice flat lighting. And flat lighting is what creates that pop. You know, sometimes when you record and you're like, your fade just pops, is because of flat lighting. Now you know, so you can replicate it in your showcases and at the end product. Because a lot of light is on there and it's properly exposed, showing all the detail. But you wouldn't use flat lighting in showcasing the client because you want shadows to create like a more structured, his face to be structured and like real masculine. So how you angle your client and your camera gives you different purposes. So if you notice, we have showcasing client, showcasing the haircut, those are different purposes. So now, how to make your client look more attractive, okay? We create a higher angle coming down like this to create more shadows to hide a double chin. You see, this guy is the same guy, but the difference is that this one is flat lighting and this one is angled lighting where it's higher. See this? Like, he looks far better. How good does he look here with this than showing a flat lighting, showing all the details? You see, this flat lighting shows all details. This has a more cinematic look. So it shades the under chin, creating more depth, has a harsher drop shadow. Like, this won't work for showcasing the haircut because you don't want shadows in your haircut. And what barbers tend to do that void everything that I even say is this one common mistake. They put their ring light too far away, which when you have it like a bit further away like this, the client is too dark and is underexposed. And also this light, you see how this light, when it hits this wall as well. You see this? It hits this wall and it makes the wall a little bit brighter, which doesn't make the client pop out from the back. When you come closer, right, the right thing to do is get this ring light so freaking close that it shines only the client. Because when you do this, it only captures and then it blocks off the rest. When you have a darker background, it allows your client to pop more because there's a visual contrast between light and dark. To sum everything up, to make your lighting flawless, turn off the down lights or dim down it. And if you're in a barbershop, go a little bit higher, angle a little bit higher so then that down light doesn't capture. So there's always a way to do this, no excuses at all. If you have like windows, get blockout curtains and make sure that you go recording with the one light direction. For all these to even work and these techniques to work is that you have to get the ring light super close because you need to get flawless lighting to make your videos pop. Then depth, make the walls darker by moving further back and put the ring light closer to give your client haircut showcase that pop and that depth. After, finally, to create like no glare and have crispy image, wipe your phone camera every single time. Because as barbers, we have dirty hands sometimes and that's fine because we're cutting hair. And every time we touch our camera, we might mistakenly touch the lens of it and then make it smudge. So even though you touched it the first time and you wiped it the first time, you touch your phone and it will smudge again. So consistently having a rule where every time I press record, I wipe it every single time. So I'm wiping like 8-7 times. Lastly, to summarize what the difference between a client showcase and a haircut showcase is that when it's angled, it enhances the client's jaw where you have a slight tilt. And then when you want to showcase the haircut quality, you have it more parallel where there's even more head tilt where the lighting is flat. That's all you need to know for the client showcase and the haircut showcase. So overall, the fundamental key of this showcase content style is the after. Making the haircut showcase look so fire to maximize visual change from the before and after. Because when you can get your client and capture your client to display positive emotions, it adds more depth towards the content rather than just the before and after that every single regular barber does. That's what separates your like average regular before and after video to another before and after video that hits millions and millions of video is that it captures confidence. It captures the client smiling, maybe giving it a little wink, maybe being more joyful. And displaying these emotions makes the haircut suit the client more. You see, a smile can be the difference between someone commenting, yo, that is really suits him, to someone being like, yo, that doesn't suit him, through someone's smile. Next is that it shows that your client trusts you as a barber. Let me tell you something that actually really is crucial in the barbering game, is that trust is the currency in barbering. And when you can develop trust between your client and you through capturing that, through your camera work skills, when the viewer watches this, they feel way more connected. Because the more that you can show someone that they can trust you with their haircut, the more bookings you will get. It actually shows that the client actually likes the cut. It avoids people in the comment being like, yo, he doesn't suit him. Yo, he doesn't like the cut. When you show all of these factors right here, you're able to have borrowed trust. Because your client trusts you, the audience has borrowed trust from your client. So more strangers to book with you. And you want more new clients booking with you because that's what push the business forward. Let's get into the next content style now. The next content style is called action reels. And this is basically short sequences of hair falling off clips together to make a satisfying haircut transformational video. This content style will speed up your skill set in creating content, recording, and be able to equip you with basic cinematography skills, learn camera work and angles, great foundation in lighting, and it will teach you how to edit in a way for monkey brain editing for audiences, right? So what do I mean by this is that barbers create content for other barbers. Why would you create content to track other barbers when other barber thinking that you're cool or thinking that you have high status? It doesn't push the business forward. What you should make content for is for clients. Who you should make content for, and when you're switching your mindset to creating content, is you're making it for clients, right? To attract them, to get them through the door. And the way to do that is by making it satisfying. Satisfying content never fails. It will never go out of date. It will literally allow you to understand how to put short sequences together, because a lot of barbers, they want to learn editing, right? But they don't understand the fundamental that an edit is supposed to be satisfying, and this is what it will teach you. So when barbers try to impress other barbers, it's like a chef impressing other chefs when the customer is the one that truly matters. Next is where most people go wrong, is that the flow of the video is off or is not engaging, where during the editing process, there's huge amount of dead space, and like the flow of it, it's like a, for example, a beat. It's like a missed beat or like an off beat, or when someone like sings but they're off beat. It's like that. It's very like unsatisfying, right? Next is that they have bad camera angles and lighting, where the hand is covering it, the angle is off, like it's not centered at all. And next is that they do the actions really slow. When you're doing that hair cutting action, there's no rhythm and tempo. So the tools that you're going to need for doing these action reels is a gooseneck tripod, which allows it to be super flexible and get all the right angles. It enables you to like bend it, and it's real flexible. Also has a small footprint, so then you don't have to like, how many times have you tried to make content and you just keep stumbling over your tripod, stumbling over the ring light, or being behind a huge ass ring light to like, cut. So I've included some links here. These are the ones that I use, and I put the links down for you. You can get this exact doc in the description. Now, there are some tools to make these action reels even better. The first one is clippers and combs. So you can get clippers and combs that stand out. No black one, no black combs, no black clippers, because when it stands out, it looks better on camera. Using big shears, right? 6.5-inch shears and up, it creates like more hair coming off. Now, detachable clippers, using clippers that actually like make those hair milking off. See, detachables are great for them, but you're not limited to if you don't have these. So what are the principles of action reels that make it viral? First is hair falling off. You got to have a bunch of hair falling off. It has to be satisfying, and it has to have rhythm and tempo. For example, like these ones, it's super satisfying where you can see there's a clear difference being made, right? You see how those hair is coming off? You see that? There's coming off, and there's a difference being made. See that? Super nice. Before and after, there's a big visual change. Client smiling, great. Same thing with this. See, I start off with the biggest change where like, look how much hair is coming off. So we're thinking satisfying, we're thinking rhythm, we're thinking super amounts of hair coming off. With the action reel shot list, we're going to be adding 6 to 8 satisfying cutting actions. So meaning that 6 to 8 like clips of you cutting. With the showcases, we're just adding this. It's the same shot list, but we're adding this one into it, okay? So you see that you have 8 to 10 showcases, but at the end, you're going to use 4 to 5, meaning that like you want to have more options. So then when you go into like editing process, you can choose the best ones. Now, when recording these action reels, you can have 3 shot holders, meaning that what you're using to record this. The first one is handheld. Hands down, this is one of the greatest dynamic because you're able to get specific angles. And you know how I taught you guys how to, lock in when you're recording to your elbows? You can lock in at different angles. You don't have to just lock in here. You can lock in here while you're cutting. So I can lock my phone right here and I'm cutting like this, right? I'll lock it in, boom, and I'm like, boom. Cutting just like that. I can lock it in like here, boom, or I can lock it in here, boom. And I'm putting it here so it doesn't move. The only way this moves is if my body moves. This will capture more hair falling off because you can see it more and it's closer. Next is tripod. With tripod, it's less dynamic, it's static, meaning that it's stationary. And this means that it's further away. So this was for different shots. Doesn't mean that if it's further away or closer, it's better. The next and the third one is the POV mount. This gets a very unique view where you're able to see both hands. So for example, if you're using clip over comb, if you're using maybe shear work, you're able to get a super unique view. But the thing is that with the downfall of this uniqueness is that you have to keep it centered. You see, you have to keep it centered and it's hard to keep it centered. That's why my go-to was always these, but adding this in as well creates more of engaging angles and transitions. When combining all 3 of these together, you create more engaging angles and more like better transitions because each clip that you're going into for the edit, it's something different. And you see, editing is about like consistently stimulating so then the viewer can be retained into the video. Because if a video was just flat at one angle, one like position and just using one tripod, you would not stay because it's boring. When you combine all 3, it makes it very unique and dynamic. I included some links here as well. So with the shot angles now, there's 5 different shot angles that you can do that I've listed to help you and give you some guide when you're creating these and actually recording these action reels. First one is in front. So the in front one, you can have your hand held in front like this, or you can have the neck mount in front, or you can even have this tripod in front and static and cutting behind it. Next is over the shoulder. So over the shoulder is more for your tripod and you put it behind you. And then you have your diagonal angle. That will be literally like the front of your client and then tilted to the left right there. You can use that for something like clip over comb. You can use that for your tripod. And then next one is the side angle where literally I'm like this and then the side angle is literally on the side of me. You can use that for tripod, handheld, and now the variable handheld. This is what I mean. Variable is where you can switch this angle, this angle, this angle, even low, right? The next principle of action reels is the rhythm. You see, the rhythm is so important and people neglect this and a lot of barbers don't have rhythm. So I'm going to teach you rhythm today. The first component to learn about rhythm is reps. How many times you do a cutting action. So for example, barbers, they just go like this. They cut like a barber. They don't think like what a client would like to see. So one mistake that you will do after this, and I can guarantee like 80% of you will do this, is that you will just cut like this and where there's not much hair coming off. Instead, you got to think of it like reps. How many reps am I doing? 1, 2, 3? Or am I going one big one? Like a big long clip over comb drag. Whereas let's say like scissors, you will go multiple, you go pop, pop, pop. So it's either single, one long one, like zzz, or you're doing like a drag down with a trimmer dragging down and taking all the bulk. Or you can do multiple where you're going like, let's say you're clearing out some bulk downwards with a trimmer. You're going dun, 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 right? Next is tempo. Tempo is how the speed of you do an action clip. So for example, if you're going, or you're going boom, 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 right? So you want to make sure that it's fast without like, wrecking up the client. Doing it fast will help you in the editing process because in the editing process, editing is basically just removing all the stuff that you don't want and bringing all the gold together. It will help you because then you don't have to cut out much dead space. You can just cut out the parts that you really want, which is the fast parts. So maybe I did this and you don't even understand what the heck I'm talking about. So I gave you guys some action clip setups that you can do. So first one would be scissor work. So you can do straight cuts and it's over the shoulder, just chip, 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 right? Next one is like scissor over comb, where you can go the side angle and then comb in and then just go chip, 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 right? Then you can do something like clip over comb, where it's diagonal and you go single, because that like clip over comb is just a long drag. Next is that you can do like setting in the guard line with a half guard or a 1.5 guard. These are good because it shows a contrast difference, having it in front with multiple going bang, bang, bang. Next is a trimmer debulk, where you get the trimmer and you flip it over and you actually debulk it to see all that hair just milking off. Then we can have something like styling product, where you get a tin product and you spin it, flick it up so you can see like a lot of action happening. These are a lot of examples and setups that you can do for your next recording action reel, and equip these in your arsenal, and then you can make your own, find different ones. But this is a way for you to have some action points for you to do in your next recording session. The next content style is voiceovers, and what voiceovers are literally just speaking over video clips to persuade the viewer to take action or book or follow, right? So this is literally the proven formula to increase clients. So doing this content style was able to get me to my first price raise. So let's hop into why you should even do it. What I mean by this is an example where we're speaking over it. We have a lot of B-roll. Where we're solving problems. See this? I also do this to accident, no hairs poking out. Yep. My client also didn't like how his mullet hangs down his neck and wanted a cleaner look. So I lined up the hairs on his neck, then trimming the overhangs to match the neckline. This is my client. So this is an example, right? This is an example of what a voiceover looks like. Through this content style, you'll be able to capture an audience through learning marketing through words. And through this, you'll be able to have a purpose to why you do certain actions and decisions, and actually have like intelligent selection process where you're not just posting content for the sake of posting. You're posting content with a purpose to convert a certain type of clientele, and you'll be able to understand how to solve problems. In business, if you solve problems, you make more money. And right now, we're going to solve problems in the barbering industry. Next is you're going to be able to find your voice, increase your voice confidence, because a lot of you guys haven't posted your voice yet. You only just posted like a pic and a video of your client. Next is that this content style is a client generating machine, because this is where you start to increase your personal brand. Before we were doing like hair cutting clips, now we're getting into like more personal brand and getting your voice out there. And we will get you to your first price raise if you do everything correctly. And you see where most people go wrong is with these voiceovers is that they say useless things that doesn't add any value towards the audience, making them like have a distaste in their content. Like their audience thinks it's cringy, and saying things like, oh, you know, I had to get them right. Like it doesn't do anything for the audience. And also there's no uniqueness about their content. There's no branding, there's no individuality. There's still a robot, like they're like a robot speaking in monotone. They say things that are useless. Like they don't know what to say that will convert the viewer into a client. So how do we actually do these voiceovers? People just yap, but the way to actually do them is providing value to our audience. The word value is put out a lot, but what does it actually mean? Value is when pain is alleviated, and you can either alleviate pain in two different ways. So creating value by solving a problem that someone suffers, or teaching someone something, right? So those are two ways. And the more problems that you can solve, the more your services are valued higher. You see, that's why people like me and around the world that charge over $100 and I can charge $250 is because I can solve problems. That's why I get rewarded. I've solved bigger problems and alleviated more problems for people. That's why I'm able to charge more than just a typical barber. So I'm going to be going over the first way, solving a problem that someone suffers. This is key in the barbering industry, and we're going to be delivering value through solving a client's problem. How we do this and how we actually solve a client's problem is this simple solution-based template. We have the pain point of the client, the solution process, and the desired situation. Step one is we identify the current problem, challenge, pain point that your client is experiencing. This could be something like they have flat hair, they're balding, maybe they have unmanageable curls, so a problem that they suffer from. Next is the solution process. Step two, we present the solution process that solves the pain point of the client effectively, meaning that we explain our process in solving that problem. So let's say if it was straight hair, we would basically use a texturizing process. If they had frizzy curls, I would use the Hakeem the Beams curling solution. So you see how every single problem has a solution process that is coined by you. Then through your solution process, you have the desired situation. And the desired situation is basically you describing the ideal outcome that your client would achieve after implementing your solution, your process. You can verbally enhance the end result and enhance the end outcome by saying things like, so that flat straight hair is all gone and resolved. And in your content, you can say like, and he never again has to deal with balding again. Or after the cut, he was acting different to show that like, confidence. Then he got his confidence back and just look at that smile. So you're enhancing the feeling and the emotion and the desired outcome and you're projecting it more. So then each stage can be heightened at each step. So this is literally how we solve problems. We find a problem, we solve it, and we show how good it is and what we did. So this is the example script that I wrote. So this will be like you put your hook in, then you say, to fix my client's pain point, I solution process to create that to make sure he desired situation. So if I was in my content, I was actually creating this content, this would be the actual script. Let's just say that it's straight flat hair that a lot of people have. The hook would be 40% of people have unstylable flat straight hair and my client has it. That's the hook. To fix my client's issue of having no character in his style, I texturized his hair by using a cross-slicing method and recommended him to use a volumizing powder to create that nice, messy look he was after. That would be our script. And during this, you can see that you can start your hook with a problem. You see, I started it with a problem. 40% of people have unstylable, flat, straight hair. So that's a problem. And then after that, our next line would be solution process, solution process, solution process. So you can have a big problem and then give all the solutions to it and then the desired situation. Option 2, you can have a problem and then solution, problem and then solution, and then your desired outcome. You can mix and match it where you can even do desired situation, which is start. If you want your hair to look super messy and nice and flawless like this, but you have this problem, then I use this process to achieve this look. So you see how it's very adaptable and versatile? You can do it like that. So that was how to create value by solving a problem and present it in your content, right? That's how to convert. Your next way to deliver value is through education. See, you can do it in 3 different ways. Tools and resources where let's say you have clippers, some tool gems, recommendations, or like how to use a equipment effectively and correctly, like how to do clip of comb, how to do certain techniques, how to do this. Next one is step by step where you're making tutorials, how-to videos, specific techniques and like quick hacks. Then you have wisdom. Maybe you're a barber that's been in the game for quite a while. So some things that you've learned over the years and maybe like during this stage, some mistakes that you wish you knew. Delivering value through education. Don't overcomplicate it. Deliver value through education. Do these 3 things: tools, step by step, and wisdom. Now, how to create a viral hook. A viral hook is basically grabbing the attention of a viewer's monkey brain by piquing their interest. So we can pique someone's interest and grab someone's monkey brain by 2 ways. The first way is a verbal hook and a visual hook. Let's go through over a verbal hook. There's 3 different types of verbal hooks. First one is a desirable hook. So promising the audience what they want or aspires to achieve. So for example, we're creating content for clients here. So a script would be, here are 3 texturizing techniques that will give your hair immaculate texture and flow. It's desirable, right? It's something that people want to achieve, clients that want to achieve. They want that nice flow. Now we have a negative hook, highlighting a problem, fear, or downside that a client wants to avoid. So for example, you are never gonna hide that fridge ass forehead going to that same barber. You see, we're exploiting and it's more negative. Controversial now. Addressing sensitive topics that, divide opinions, that are polarizing. What polarizing means is like you separate people from like negative, people that are positive. So in this, where controversial hook is something that validates a opinion or challenges a opinion. Okay, so for example, if you pay under $35 for a haircut, you treat your self-esteem like a chore. We're basically polarizing someone that pays under $30 a haircut and someone that pays over $30 a haircut. We're putting a polarizing effect on there. And the things that I used that exact script in this content that did very well. Let's have a look.
Refuse to pay over $35 are the same people who treat their haircut and confidence like a chore. Same reason why every time you go to your local barber, you get absolutely fucked with your self-esteem hanging by a thread, coping for 3 to 4 weeks looking like a goose.
See that? I exploited the problem.
The people who actually value their public image do something about it and fix their problem.
See that? I made it seem like people that are 35 under treat their confidence like a chore. And people who pay over, they actually value their confidence. So it polarizes. So all the G's that value it will come to me, and all the people that like don't value it, they will go in the comments and be like, blah, 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 and then it boosts up the algorithm. So that's an example. Those are three different: desirable hook, negative hook, and controversial. That will give you some structure. So when you're creating your hooks to make that bang and create a viral video. Next is that you have the visual hook. You see, you can have a verbal hook, but with this competitive nature of social media and content creation, is that a verbal hook isn't enough. You have to create a visual hook as well. So how we create a visual hook is we match the verbal hook with our visual hook. So for example, if I'm talking about, let's say, 3 texturizing techniques, I would use a picture or arrow or graphic or maybe bigger captions or sound effects to match the verbal hook with my visual hook. Let's say I have this script right here. You are never gonna hide that fridge edge forehead. So I will grab a picture and an arrow to show a big forehead of a fridge, and I will grab an arrow, a sticker, boom, and it points towards it, as well as a sound effect, right? So it can make that more engaging. That's why the visual and the verbal matches together to form like a more engaging video. So with the visuals, you can use something that's pointing like an arrow. You can use reference pictures. Like let's say someone is talking about a certain haircut. You can use that like style and put that picture in there. You can use extra footage, B-roll, right? Background footage. With sound effects, you can use pop effect. So then when something pops up, it goes pop. And then you can have like a confidence, like maybe like something like sparkles, like wow. Or you can have a wrong or right effect, right? This is where something where it's like dun. So I'll give you an example. So let's have a look at this one. See, my client has curly hair, and I'm showing that right there. And I put that thing. You hear that thing noise? My client has curly hair, but he told me barbers just. See that? He told me, and then I'm matching my verbal to the visual, which is he's telling me. See that? Making his curls, and I'm showing that there. See that? See how I showed the visual up with it, and then also the sound effect in there to create a more engaging video. See that? That is basically the sound effect I was talking about. So within that 10 seconds, perfectly shows you what I'm talking about. And how you convert like those sound effects into your editing platform is you go onto this and you basically put the link of the sound effect into YouTube. So you can search up any like sound you want and put it into here and then press convert, download it, and you can just put it straight into your timeline. Now, let's look at the voiceover shot list. With this, we're going to add it in between with our shots that we already have. So for example, our action reels that we have, our before and after, and our quality showcases, we're going to like talk over that, making sure that we match the visual and the verbal together when we're doing our script. With the tools that we need, all we need is just a mic. You don't need a crazy mic. I was using my iPhone memos, literally my iPhone, and I was just speaking in towards it. You can use Apple earphones, are super underrated. And you can also use the DJI wireless mic. I have this one as well. These ones. These are a bit expensive, but the thing is that with content creation, you don't need fancy gear. All you need to do is just get started. That's it. The final content style that I'm going to be showing you guys today is consultations. And it's literally a client generating machine. And I'm going to give you the playbook to be creating these viral consultations by converting viewers into clientele. Let's hop into it. What is a consultation? It's a pre-service discussion to understand your client's preference and hair goals to provide the best possible haircut. So in content definition, we're going to be solving a problem while entertaining. The purpose and the reason why you should do this is because it converts viewers to clients like crazy if you do it right. It has a super high virality potential and will never get old and die out because human interaction and solving problems, and also the nature of between two people, seeing if the end result is going to be fire, will never die out. And plus, doing this content style will develop your confidence and your comfortability on camera, which will later on help you to build your personal brand. And literally the backbone of why and how people know me is through my consultations. They start to know who I am. They start to see my humor. They start to see how I speak. So that is the start to your personal brand. See, where most people go wrong about this is that they just mindlessly yap with no value being given to the audience or the client at all. Also, the edits are flat and not engaging. It doesn't capture any emotion or reaction of the client where they're just speaking like this and They're talking about what hairstyle they're gonna get, and it's super boring. And next is that barbers that try this content style, they have no understanding why the consultation does well. They just do it because they see other people doing it, and maybe they get one like consultation that does well, but they have no idea how to do it again. I call this, and we all call this, a one-hit wonder, right? They can't replicate it. And the biggest point of all is that barbers that go into this content style haven't developed the basic fundamental skills required before going into advanced content style like consultations. They have poor lighting, they have bad camera work, they don't understand what a client pain point is, they don't understand what a solution, how to enhance the desired situation. They have low quality haircut showcases, boring flat edits, monotone in the way they speak, and don't have the proper steps to build their voice confidence. And most importantly, they don't have quality feedback process. You can have feedback from like your friends and family, but you don't have quality feedback where you can improve in the steps you should take after your last recording, how to make the last recording and this recording better than your last. Now I'm going to show you how to actually do consultations. The goal of consultations when you're recording it is to capture 3 big talking points to use for the hook and the video. Next is to develop a clear understanding of your client's problem or any pain point by diving deep and following up with multiple questions. See, barbers, they go wrong because they don't follow. They ask one question and then they expect a viral like response. It doesn't happen like that. You have to dig. This is the consultation shot list, what you should be capturing in when you're recording these consultations. We're going to be adding dialogue, right? Where dialogue is basically 2 people speaking in interaction. You're going to be having 3 viable talking points or hooks that you can use. Then you're going to have your client's reaction. The client's reaction to the haircut, how they feel after, and you want to capture them being like amazed and like display in change in their vibe, their confidence. And also you want to get your payment transaction and the handshake, right? Like a visual of the client's validation towards your service and your haircut quality. You want to get that validation from them to show your client and the viewers that your client likes it, the client's cool with it, it increases trust, okay? So now, how do you even get these 3 viable talking points? Like, how do you get these big, strong responses when you're asking these questions? Is that you ask questions that will generate viral responses. So I have 5 questions here that I've used and I summed it up to generate these viral responses. First one is talks about the pain point. What's one thing that your last barber did that you didn't like or you always got wrong, right? So something like that. Next one is there any bad haircut or funny stories that you have with your hair? This will create more emotion, more like a story. Everyone loves a story, a funny story where something happened to their hair, their mates, you know what I mean, cut their hair, something happened, or any bad haircut stories. When someone tells a bad haircut story, it's relatable because how many people have had a bad haircut? And when someone explains that, they feel and resonate with that. So it makes a connection and the emotion be connected more, making your video have more depth, which increases the virality and the results of that video. So if you notice that these right here is pain point related. Now, this one is desired situation related. Is there any special occasion you're getting this cut for? So when someone is saying like, oh yeah, bro, I have a wedding coming up, or I have my wedding coming up, or I have this coming up with a girl that I'm first seeing, it draws importance towards the haircut that you're going to give them. So the viewers will look at that and be like, yo, that's a big thing that's going to come up. I will stay to the end to see if that haircut will qualify to see if at the end he's going to rock up to that place or special occasion well, right? So you're bringing the importance of the event to your cut. So it increases the importance of it. Next is showing them a problem that they have with their hair or reaction or how bad they look. So you can be like, if the client doesn't even can't produce a viral response, you create the viral response. So you can be like, oh my goodness, bro, that would be the hook. Bro, you have a big cowlick. Oh, bro, you're balding like crazy, right? Or bro, you have super thin hair. So you can do something like this. So even though your client doesn't produce a viral response, you can create the viral response, okay? So these are the icebreaker questions. After asking these icebreaker questions, you must follow up to dive deeper. The deeper, the better. And I'm talking like 5 follow-ups here where you're digging on the same topic. Like let's say you asked about a problem that they have with your hair. You can be like, oh damn bro, you're balding? Like how does that make you feel that you are balding? Does it affect you socially? does it affect you in a way where, does it affect your work? Like, do you work in a industry where your confidence and your self-image is important to that? And they're like, yeah, man, I'm in real estate, and I think that if I had more hair, I would like make more sales. So you can be like, oh, damn, bro. So does that mean that your confidence relates to your income? So if you dive deeper, it will create more need for your cut. This is how I was able to go from like $100 a cut to $250. If you're stuck, you can literally go through the when, how, who, and what to follow up with. For example, like, how does that make you feel, that pain point? When did you receive that compliment because of your haircut happened? Right? Let's say the client came back and you're like, yo, like, how was the cut last time? And you're like, when did you receive that compliment? What did they say? You know what I mean? Things like that. It allows them to dive deep. And even though you don't expect to get like those responses straight off the bat after one follow-up, you got to do multiple follow-ups, right? And this is where people fail. They barely do any follow-up questions, digging, but expect the client to say a viral response. They go edit it and they try to like search the deepest corners of that video to find a hook to place at the start, but there's no viral material in the recording. A big tip is that when you're editing, create the hook in the consultation recording stage, so it'll be much easier for you to find that hook at the start of your consultation. So then when you're editing it, you can just get that big point that you created in the recording to put as your hook. Now, let's talk about the reaction. The reaction is super important. For all the reasons why I told you, trust is the currency of barbering. So when you can show that your client reacts in a way towards your cut where he really loves it, that increases trust. The more times that people trust you as a barber, the better, because they will book with you. You see, the main thing that clients and people like hate to go barbershops, and this notion that like they're traumatized, is because they don't trust their barber. Imagine if every single client trusted a barber, there will be no issues. All right. So you got to increase that trust through capturing the reaction. Don't overcomplicate it. Get it done. Look, editing sometimes absolutely sucks. So in this section, I want to teach you how to edit 3.5 times faster. Let's go over now some specific editing techniques. So first technique is called removing dead space, right? So with this, you're going to be clipping and deleting any pauses or unusable or empty segments, things that we can't use. And this is one of the big components of filmmaking and creating content, is that you actually record a lot of content. So filmmakers, I've studied heaps of filmmaking courses, and what they do is they record 10 hours of content, but they only use like 10 minutes. So it's literally a 10-to-1 ratio. So this is where you're going to be understanding like where you're going to be finding the eye on like what content is best and what you should keep. So you're going to be clipping things that you don't need. Next is keyframe zooming. When you're keyframing, you're controlling where the zoom begins and then ends for a smooth zoom in out effect. This, you're just literally creating keyframes so then you can show where you want that frame to end and where you want it to go, okay? Next is editing to the beat. You're trimming and syncing your cuts and transitions with the rhythm of the music. This is where you're listening to the snare, and the snare is basically when the beat is the BPM. So it's like boom, boom, boom. So that's the beat. And you want to edit to the beat because a lot of barbers, they think that the audio and the visual is different. Just like how we did the verbal hook and the visual hook, we want it in sync. Same way we want the visuals and the audio to be same. Okay, so finding trending music now. Sometimes like finding music takes a long time. So when you want to find trending sounds, I got a quick little tip. When you go over to your settings and you're going to find trending audio, click on trending audio and you'll be able to see it there. If you can't find it, what you're going to do is you just scroll on your feed until you see like an arrow. You're going to see like a little arrow like this. And whenever you see that audio track, click on that and you'll be able to see the ranking from the audio number 1. So all the way, the ranking all the way down. And you want to catch the trending audio that has under 10K uses, because when it's under 10K and it's trending, that means that that audio is going to blow up soon. Last one is match cutting. So what is a match cut? It's matching two visuals or actions by aligning the clip with the previous clip. Let's say you have clip 1, and that clip 1, you're going to match that with the next clip. So then when it transitions, it matches the previous. So making it seem like each time it transitions, it like syncs into one clip. So this is a very sick effect, very engaging as well. So now I'm gonna teach you how to edit 3.5 times faster through these 3 tips. First one is called time blocking. You have to assign times and slots for purposeful editing so you can minimize distractions and increase focus. So what I like to go through when I edited videos is I go through 45 to 90-minute undistracted sessions. And this is great because it allows you to think, okay, how much time do I want to dedicate to growing my content? And you can dedicate, like, let's say, okay, each hour, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour every single day, or maybe 2 hours every single day to undistracted editing. This is how you get good at editing. You make sure that you select times for it, and when you click that time, you are only editing within that time frame. Okay. Next is keyboard shortcuts. With keyboard shortcuts, you perform repetitive tasks more quickly with just one shortcut. For example, like a 5-step action turns into a 1-step process. So some keyboard shortcuts that I like to use is I use S for split. So I split the thing just with S, and W for delete. See, I can just split something, boom, and then delete. Then E will delete everything on the right. So it will delete everything from the right onwards. See, like that. See, like this, E, it deletes everything there. And then Q is basically deleting everything from left onwards. So boom. Just like that, you're able to make cuts with just one button instead of pressing and then clicking. It's a lot faster, okay? Now, my third tip is using a structured editing process. See, having a clear and systematic sequence for workflow management in editing. So what I mean by this is that you break down into specific stages and focus on one aspect of editing at a time. This allows you to have consistency across all projects because you follow the same structure. So what do I mean by this? And let's go through it, right? These are the stages of editing a full video. The first stage is you're going through the sifting process. So think of sifting as in, like, you know, when you have a sift and you put flour through it, and when you shake it, it takes all the fine great bits and then it clumps all the top bits, so then all that stuff, all the wax stuff doesn't go through. In this, you're thinking deleting big dead spaces and unusable segments. The next step is, once you've done that, you're going to batch all the clips together and into categories. So when you do it into categories, like what you realize when you're recording is that sometimes you get different, like the same clips. So you will batch everything, a similar clip together, meaning that you're like reordering. And when you're reordering, you're looking for the strongest clip, meaning like your hook, the best part of your video, and you're going to place that at the start as your hook. After the third stage is you're going to add music. You search for your trending music that fits the vibe of the client, add it in, and then during your second sifting process, you're going to be ruthlessly editing big dead spaces, meaning that like any little parts that you see, anything where you're like, damn, like, nah, this is not it. You have to be ruthlessly taking out these like unusable or like even hesitations in your clips. You take them out. The more you remove, the shorter, the more it accommodates to monkey brains, right? It's not about how much you can put in there. It's about how much you can remove and keep all the gold in there. Now, the next one is framing. Once you've done all this, you're going to frame and make sure that everything fits within your frame and like position each clip so then all the action is in the center. During this, you can keyframe, making zoom in and out. And then the final step is just final touches. And during these final touches, you're going to re-watch it. And what you're going to do is you're going to switch your mind into a consumer mind. And you're going to watch. And you're going to think to yourself, okay, I'm a guy that is just doom scrolling and I don't know who I am. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm just a doom scroller. And you're going to think, at what point would that person scroll off? And when you see that point, you will make changes. Through that step alone, you'll be able to accommodate and train your muscle to make content that will accommodate to the market, okay? Then detailing, finalizing, ready it for post. Just like that, we have an ordered structure to edit our videos in a way where we know where we're at, and it gives you clear, systemized steps to do so that you don't get lost and you can have that consistency in your stages across all your editing, your projects. Now, what is a hook? When I talked about placing the strongest clip at the start, what do I mean by this? For showcases, you're going to put the best quality showcase or a client, the confidence at the start. For action reels, you're going to have the most hair falling off, the most satisfying, the strongest clip at the start. With voiceovers, you're going to take the biggest pain point or the best solution or like a really great desired situation and put that at the start. With consultations, you're going to have the most interesting, like controversial, maybe emotional, maybe funny things said at the start. Through all our clips, when editing, you have to find the highlight and you literally rank them. That's why batching your content is important. And each one of these like steps and stages of editing is super important. And this, like within 6 steps, you've edited a video. People go through way too many. They bounce between boom, 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 boom. They don't have a structure, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Get it done. Now, your content strategy. We can have all these content and knowledge, and I've given you a ton of gems of how to create these content. But how do you know how to post, when to post, how many you should record a day? This is the guide to turn your everyday routine into a consistent content engine. How many times should you post a day? Your goal, one piece of the same content every day on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And let's say you can't post every day. You want to choose a posting target that you can sustain and commit to per week. So not everyone can sustain every day, right? People got personal life, people think, but you build it up, you build that muscle. It's not like going gym every single day straight away. You started off going to the gym once a week, then twice, then 3 times, right? So you're building that muscle of posting. But first you want to commit first, right? When you go to the gym, okay, I want to go to the gym twice a week now. So the same thing with posting. And we can separate these into the tiers of posting competence. At the start, you're going to only be able to sustain only a few a week. So within 3 to 4. Majority of you guys aren't even posting. So this is where you're going to be. You're going to post 2 to 3 times per week, and you're going to work on the workload that is required to hit these posting targets. So if I need to get 3 videos out a week, how many hours a day of editing do I need to do to hit that number? You have to figure out yourself. If you actually commit to posting, 2 to 3 times a week, it will allow you to gain momentum and exit the comfortability barber rut. What I mean by this is that it's very easy to just cut every day without recording. Because you can just cut because you're so used to it. You're not used to building out the camera. You see, that's the barber comfortability rut, is that people just cut and just work mindlessly, but they don't think of the future that content holds. So commit to one style, sticking with this 2 to 3 times. After you've done this for about 2 weeks, you can increase one piece of content to your weekly load. So then you can eventually hitting higher tiers. We're going to increase it to 4 to 5 times per week. And we're going to create a concrete routine where we're developing locked in syndrome. Right? What does this mean? Locked in, where you're like, damn, okay, I'm getting momentum now. This is where you're getting locked in. This is where it starts to develop. Locked in syndrome. Okay. Once you get to 4 to 5, you're going to be posting every single day. You do this for 3 weeks, then this is where you're hard scaling. This is where you're able to get consistent results because you have more feedback, because you understand what content works, what content's trash, and you just do more of the thing that's working. And whatever is not working, you ultimately stop doing that. You have this feedback loop where you're like, okay, these works, I'm gonna keep doing this. So the purpose now, what's the purpose of this content strategy? The main determining factor of if you grow as a businessman or you stay as a regular barber in your city while everyone levels up and blows past you is through posting content. And the faster feedback process we can get, the faster result. So the quicker you get feedback from the market, the views, likes, and you're able to learn quicker because you're able to see what's working. There's actually types of feedback. You see, there's unqualified feedback, meaning that let's say your friends, family, people that don't really know what they're talking about, and you have quality feedback. So for example, if I'm going to the gym, would I ask a fat person to give me advice about how to lose weight? Or would I ask a sick doctor to give me some medicine? No, you would ask someone that's qualified or someone that knows more than you. That's why getting feedback from the comment section, getting feedback from your friends, your family, saying yo, bro, why are you trying to be a barber? It's not the same. That's why people like Kevin was able to do it in 3 months, because they had a faster feedback loop where he was consistently on call with me, consistently talking, consistently analyzing our content to make it better each time. With doing it, increasing his price from 75 to 150, doubling it, adding an extra 45K views towards his social media account. We were able to do it in 3 months, just like that, through quality feedback, okay? Next is hard work gets rewarded. Social media platforms often prioritize active accounts that post more frequently. It has this compounding effects where it builds momentum and each rep stacks on top of each other. You have to have delayed gratification where the results will come, right? It will come, and that's why we're able to make it come even faster through quality feedback. Now let's talk about what is a feedback mindset. It's literally consistently looking to improve one thing from the previous video that you did. So you're looking okay, why did this piece of content do better than my last one, right? The more you post, the more data you improve. And the more data you have, the more you can analyze on why like certain one does do better. So when you're doing this, review your own content and make notes to do improvements. Whereas like when feedback calls where we're on like, our calls, we're able to get that feedback and the right type of feedback straight away. For example, like Kevin, I was like, yo, do more of this, don't do this. And that's what allowed him to like blow every single video up. Okay. Let's talk about times to post. See, times to post isn't a big factor because if your content's good, it will literally blow. But we can do things to actually like give you a direction to see what times is your best times to actually post. First, you're going to go to your professional dashboard, click on that. You set the front page, and then you're going to click on total followers, scroll down, and you're going to be able to see most active times. Then you're going to look at your most active time and you're going to be posting 30 minutes to an hour and a half before that time. So for example, my like top times is 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. The reason why doing this on Instagram is more effective is because Instagram algorithm is a lot more different towards TikTok. Whereas like if you look at TikTok, when you're scrolling on TikTok, do you ever see like content from people that you follow? No, it's all from like the algorithm showing you it. I'm heating up. So when you know this video is about to go well. If you guys are staying onto this, hey, you guys are the one that's like committed and hungry. So Instagram's algorithm, they send it towards all your followers. So that's why posting on your most active time is more important. But first, you got to think about your content. Making the content, that's the highest leverage thing. That was content strategy. Now let's talk about recording strategy. Okay. So the recording strategy is when you should record. Every single day, you're going to aim to record 2 to 3 videos per day. And you're going to add like 5 to 15 minutes to your total appointment time if you can. So then you can give you more time to actually record and cut and deliver a quality product. Then you're going to aim to edit 2 videos per day. And one of them being like under 15 seconds, which is like more of a showcase before and after, something fast, something eye candy. And then one 30 to 40 seconds, which is like a voiceover consultation, something that's a bit longer with a bit more dynamic into it. And then you're going to post the top potential vid, meaning that post the best content in your chamber every single day. That's the goal. You see, for me, I like to have an hour minimum. So sometimes I even have an hour and a half or an hour and 15 to record content and deliver a high quality haircut. And the component that is required to get that is energy, right? You need to have energy when you're looking for quality or success. And energy is literally how much time you spend creating content and how much effort you put into your content. That is what creates the quality in your content. See, people think that if I spend a lot of effort into like a 30-minute session, but I only have 30 minutes, how can you expect it to blow? So that's something to look for. Let's talk about quality versus quantity. This is a big issue with barbers is because we're all naturally perfectionists. We always wanted it to be perfect before we post it. We wanted it to be perfect before the client leaves the chair. We naturally have that eye for creativity where we have imposter syndrome. We think that we hold ourselves to a high standard that we can't hit and we ultimately self-sabotage ourselves. I have it, right? I truly have like perfectionism. And this will solve it all. Understanding the difference between quality and quantity and when you should focus on each one. So when you start learning a skill, you're quantity focused, okay? So think of this like a machine gun. Let's say you're blind in both scenarios. So in situation 1, you're blind and there's a zombie apocalypse coming. Are you going to pick up the sniper or the machine gun? You're going to pick up the machine gun because why? You're able to just shoot more shots and just like hope it hits. This is where it's the exact thing with same thing with content. At the start, when you're posting content, you don't have the vision. You don't know what works. You don't know how to do it. But you just got to keep shooting. And when you're shooting, you're able to see where to place your hand to shoot that machine gun. And if I got a hit here, I'll shoot here. In this stage, we want to learn and build skills through shooting consistently. Even though we're blindfolded, a lot of you guys are blindfolded right now. And that's totally fine because you're not developing that eye yet. It's the same thing as developing the eye in fading. When you first cut hair, you didn't have the eye for fading and you didn't have the eye for like what's a good quality haircut. Until you started getting good at haircuts, you started realizing that people on the street have whack haircuts and barbers around you are trash. And like when you walk down the street, the average bloke does not have a great haircut. You develop the eye for haircuts. Now you're developing the eye and building the skill for content, okay? During this stage, focus on your quantity. how many reps you put in. Doing this, you're going to be able to develop vision and you're going to be able to improve one thing at a time. That will give you vision. Now, when you focus on quality now is when you're doing the skill. Now that you take off the blindfold, instead of using that machine gun where it takes a bunch of shots to hit, you can pick up the sniper now, where one shot is one kill. So during this, you want to focus on a bit more quality, but it might be like at the start, it might be like 95, 5%. And then slowly it goes to 80, 20. And as you progress, you get a 50-50 balance. And during this quality focus, you're going to be analyzing what's working and implementing and making that better each time, right? Making it super better. So that is quality and quantity. The thing is that like, which is better? They both matter, okay? Let me give you an analogy real quick. My opinion on why quantity focused is better and why you should get more reps is better than quality. Even though you see the content that I do, it's all because of quantity. And let me show you why and tell me your analogy of how it happened. Let's take 2 case studies, okay? There was this research being done, and this is a true story, is that they had one group was to create a clay pot, and that group was able to use 3 months and create one clay pot. And they can spend how much time is up, but they just need to create one clay pot. The second group now was told that they can make as many as pot as they can. And then on the third, like the last day, they have to make it from scratch straight away. And during that, you would think that the guy that perfected 3 months of making one pot would be better, right? Wrong. The guy that had the most reps, because he just got better every single time. He failed. He was the one that won the whole thing and won thousands of dollars through quantity. And he did it within 1 day. The guy had 3 months. So you tell me which one you want to focus on. So get your reps up. And where people go wrong with this is that they shoot a few shots, right? Then maybe they post, they expect a hit, but then they don't focus on the feedback process and they don't see any improvement and they quit. And this is where people go wrong. They shoot a few shots, they expect a hit, but then they don't. The video goes poorly wrong. And then they don't focus on the feedback process, like where did I go wrong? Or what could I have done better? And then they see no improvements and then they quit. The key is quantity first, then progressing into slow improvements into quality, okay? Now I'm gonna share with you how to make money in this industry with this one concept. It's called the client trust strategy. So we have 3 components. The first one is clients. And these clients all have the same thing. They want to feel good, look good, perform good, have high self-esteem. And this is the barber market, okay, which is the clientele. And there is money in the barber market. There's a ton of money in here. This is you with your big ass head. That's you right there with your comb over. Between you and the money in the market is this big wall. This wall is actually really thick. It has like barbed wires and it has like all sorts of walls. So let's just say there's like 3 walls. Each wall is a problem. Think of it like a problem. So each wall is a big problem that they have. Each time that you can solve a problem, you are able to create leaks in the wall. So for example, you solve a certain problem, like a client problem, a boarding problem, a social problem, a confidence problem. A little leak goes like this. Boom, boom, where money starts flowing out now. Money starts coming out. Boom, boom, boom. And first it's just one. But then where barbers that have been able to charge $250 have been able to understand this wall and literally break down every single wall so then and penetrate the market so then you're able to see and like capture the money in the market rightfully. Legally here. We're talking legally here, all right? Everything I've done has always been legal, okay? This is where money is being made. This is how you do it. You solve a problem. And all that's stopping you from making money in the barber market is breaking down those walls through solving a problem. You see, value is created when pain is alleviated. So find the problem for the client, solve it, and don't think about solving barber problems. Think about your clientele. Think about your audience because there are more clients out there than barbers. So attract clients, not barbers, because you don't want other barbers thinking that you're cool and just for status. The way you're going to make money in this and will bring you status anyways is by attracting clients through your door and getting them through your door. And that's through content. And this means that you have to understand your target audience. You have to understand your clientele and their needs. That's why speaking to them, that's why having consultations, that's why recording these consultations and like building up the ladder from showcasing to action reel to voiceover to consultations will allow you to achieve that step-by-step skill acquisition to get you to create value to your audience, to create money in the barber market. This is what's going to get you to 10K per month. When you create value, the byproduct is trust, respect, authority, status. So you want to gain trust through value, right? And where barbers go wrong is that they have no intention or purpose to what their strategy is. They have no basic principles of business and how to persuade people to give them money. And truly, they are really decent barbers and they're good at cutting hair, but horrible businessmen. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about mindset now. And what stops a person from going from a barber to a businessman is mindset. Mindset is the thing that is going to directly correlate towards your business. And I don't mean that, oh, good person mindset, like work harder. Let's get into it. And I'm going to be addressing the barber rut. This is where all of you guys are at right now. I guarantee you 99% of you are in this stage right now, comfortable and stagnant. If you think you're that special snowflake, that 1%, then that's fine. Then if you're not succeeding and you want to use that as an excuse that doesn't work for me, then that's all up to you, right? But for the 99 of you, you guys are in this comfortable stage where you're literally nearly working like regularly close to like a 9 to 5 matrix, right? And trading time for less than $50 a cut. You're just making a more than the average and you think, oh yeah, that's good. So you're comfortable with that. You're stagnant with that. And you give half-assed haircuts, you have a poor business and barely new clients coming in and nothing special about you. You don't have anything special about you, where you're just like a normal barber. Then you're like, okay, you know what? I refuse to get left behind. As you finish a whole day of cutting and scrolling for the past 30 minutes, you see barbers all around the world posting content and getting results and getting successful and putting in the consistency in their content, and their business is like probably going like creating a lot of results and probably making a lot of money. So you're like, you know what? Stuff this. I refuse to get left behind. I want to like do this. I want to start posting content. I want to take it seriously. I want to like be committed. So you start putting in the work and you post more content, you improve the whole business, and you're like, okay, maybe it's possible to get to 10K per month. Maybe it is. Maybe it is possible to like, increase my price, $15, $20, maybe. And you start to gain some momentum and you get okay results, but like not as fast as you thought it would be. And you're kind of playing this guessing game where you're like, oh man, like, is this working or is this not working? I was like, man, everything seems the same. And so then you're like, okay, well, you start thinking like, I can do this, right? You gain some momentum. But then slowly you fall back into your old ways every single time. And you fall to your old habits. You realize that the consistency and doing the roads is a lot harder than you thought it'd be. So you get less consistent with posting and eventually stop. This is the barber rut right here, where you're entering the rut that compiles all the regular barbers all around the world. And your thoughts manifest into a disease. You're like, oh my God, can I even do this? Nah, man, it sucks. Like barbering's hard. Barbering doesn't make enough money. I'm old school. I can't do it no more. I can't post. Like I have problems, man, at home. I have this. You make up excuses, not thinking that everyone in the world has the same problems. Like everyone in the world has the same problems. In worse, they're just better at hiding it than you, right? This disease, this like mindset disease, it like becomes into what I call broke barber syndrome. It spreads into your mental, going back into stage one. And you go back to stage one, like right up here. You go up here and you stay there. And the thing is that people stay in here in this rut for weeks, sometimes months. Sometimes they even stay in this forever. And then they blame the barber business model. They say, oh, barbering doesn't make any money. And they prove their family and friends right, that this is just a side hustle, that when are you going to find a real job? How's your little business going? I've heard that so many times to myself. I can only speak for myself right here. And they stay comfortable settling with just cutting every day as a regular barber. And they get shiny object syndrome with like all these other money-making methods. Like they see people doing crypto, they see people doing trading, they see people doing Amazon FBA, real estate, selling digital products, monetizing, investing, dropshipping, selling physical products. But the thing is that it's none of these things, right? It's not crypto, it's not trading, it's not Amazon FBA, it's not real estate, it's not this, it's none of these things. There are two things. The first thing is that these are just vehicles, okay? And the second thing is that your vehicle is barbering right now, and this is you. So there is a vehicle, and this is you. So the driver and the vehicle. And right now, you're currently making 0 to like 2K or 3K a month as a barber, and you want to get to 10K per month as a barber. And I want to ask you something. What do you think your chances are to hitting 10K per month as your goal? Is it 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10? Write it down. Let me know. Have it in your mind. What do you think it is? Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's 0%. It's 0%. The reason why is because if you think you can get there, you would have already got there by now. If you think it's a 10 out of 10 or it's a 7 out of 10, you would have been 7 out of 10 already the way there. The reason why is because you're not a 10K per month worthy person yet. The vehicle does not matter about the vehicle. It matters about you. See, you reaching 10K a month is 90% you and 10% the business model, which is the vehicle. We can blame the vehicle and blame barbering all you want or blame like this doesn't work, but it's 90% you. So you can blame it and be like, yeah, I didn't do it. Or you can change yourself. You have two options. Either blame the vehicle or you change it. So how do we change you? So if you want to get 90% results and like change what you can control, because you can only control what you can control. You got to focus on the things that you can control and the things that you can't. You can't change the weather. You can't change the state of the world, but you can change yourself. So how do we do that? The way we do that is that we have to understand your identity, because a business is an extension of a person's characteristics, skills, routine, habits, mindset, living situation. So people drive a vehicle and don't have the characteristics for it. Maybe the car is manual and they don't know how to drive manual. They crash it, they blame the vehicle, but the driver is the one who really crashed it. So whose fault is it really? Is it the vehicle or is it you? Because anyone telling you that this is the best business model is lying to you. They're trying to sell you something. The way you actually make money is by changing yourself. And you can get the skills and all the things required, like get the knowledge through content and get the knowledge through, investing in yourself and like doing research and studying, and like you being here right now is your studying. So now the other equation and the other component to succeeding is knowledge, and then it's you. So you have to ask yourself, who do you need to be to reach 10K? Because the person that you are right now isn't capable to go 10K at all. I told you, you have 0% chance of getting to 10K per month because who you right now are is not worthy of that. So you right now, by a mirror, isn't capable for 10K per month. So what you have to do is you have to perform psychological sacrifice of your old self that doesn't serve your goal or purpose. And you become he who can, meaning being the person that is worth 10K and he who can reach 10K. And how do we do this? We do this through our skills, our characteristics, and our beliefs. Okay? Leveling up these three things. And I boil it down to the skills that you need, because the skills are recording content, understanding cinematography, lighting, editing content, capturing a high quality haircut, marketing and social media, storytelling, data and metricating. We have characteristics that you need now. To feel that, you need characters to actually execute it. So you need discipline, you need adaptability, you need to be coachable, you need to have consistency, knowledge, and time management. These are the two important components to reaching 10K. And then to solidify that is your belief, changing your paradigm. What do you believe? Because what you believe will be your why. It's like this is the root reason, like seeing if you believe that you can do it. So changing your paradigm, understanding like how to achieve mastery, your relationship with fear, challenges, obstacles, doubts. Because as a man, this is inevitable. It's inevitable, right? So with these two, I'm going to go over the skills and the characteristics part, because this is what I can control right now. I only have a certain amount of time with you. So I just want to create the biggest impact as I can. So people expect to get results, but they don't learn the skills required to achieve that result. They want it, but they don't attain what is necessary to get it. So, for example, people want the outputs, which is like the strong body, but then they don't want to like lift weights. Cause and effect. People want the effect of being charming. People want to be effect of being an articulate speaker, but they don't go out and put themselves in harsh situations where they can get like humiliated. Now it's like the work and the result. People want the result, but they don't do the work. It's very simple. And this is a law of life that is fundamental. Its first principles is that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So whatever happens, you get a reaction that is equally towards that. So for example, when you look into a mirror, the action is equal by the mirror reflecting back. So for example, the cause here is the struggle lifting weights, right? That's the cause. And the effect, what happens after, is build muscle and look jacked. So if you want to build more muscle and look more ripped, you need to lift more weights and to build more muscle. You can't be lifting the same weights, right? 5 kilos, stay on that 5 kilo for years and expect to gain. You have to progressive overload, right? You have to add more stress. You see, barbers run their business the same way, but expect different results. It doesn't work like that. Planting a seed and giving its requirements to grow a beautiful big apple tree. The requirements is sunlight, water, it needs air for it to grow into a tree. It needs for that to happen. So the inputs is the seed and the outputs is the big apple tree. So if you follow this equation, I guarantee you will get success. I guarantee you, I put my life on it. Because you don't have business problems. You have personal problems that bleed into your business. Business problems aren't real. There's no such thing as a business problem. There's no such thing. It's only people that represent the business that formulates the problem. Changing yourself and improving yourself in not even just business, in life, in health, in your family, in your social situation will directly correlate to solving your business problems and growing your business. So now I want to talk about my path to making money in this barbering industry and the things that I learned at each like 5K stage, each 10K, each milestone in my career. So from 0 to 5K a month, all I learned is just to start and take risks. I had a scholarship at radiation science. I easily could have gone a 9 to 5, went to the rat race and make 250K a year as a radiation therapist, right? And live a comfortable life. But I chose to go from scratch, decline that and take my own entrepreneurial route and throw that all behind, right? That I worked so hard for, that I wasn't the most intelligent kid, but I worked for it. So from 0 to 5K, I learned that you just have to take the risk and just start. And a lot of you guys are here right now. And that's fine because I was here. But the thing is that what's not right about it is that 90% of people stay here. And I was in here in 2021, right? I was here in 2021. I was making only like 4K a month. So I wanted to grow even more. I wanted to make money in the studio because I sacrificed everything. And what I learned at reaching 10K a month is that you have to change you. You have to change yourself by performing psychological sacrifice on your old self, like that version of you that your high school friends thought of you, that version of you that what your teacher told to you that you can't do it, what your family says to you. You have to perform sacrifice and transform into the person and become he who can. This stage is you want to gain momentum and develop the will to like not quit. During this, don't have the goal to get to 10K. Just never quit. Because if you never quit, you will make it. If I never quit, I will eventually get there. So this is what I learned at 10K a month, changing myself. And I was in here like 2022. And see, if you look at the difference from 2021 to 2022, I was a lot more like it took a longer time. But then from 10K to 15K, it only took like 3 months. You see, at 15K, I learned that it's all about consistency and building. By posting every day, building a content strategy where I'm looking at feedback, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, realizing that complacency is the enemy. Because at 10K, you're like, oh yeah, man, I'm making good money. I'm chilling. Some of you guys in here, some of you guys are complacent. And that's what I learned. Consistency and building. And this was in 2023 to February. Next, when I went from 20K to 25K is I learned that it's about understanding your purpose. Like, what is your why? Why do you want to do it? Understanding my purpose. Is it for your family? Is it to get to a better world, not in this life, but in the next life? Is it to reach like whatever your beliefs are? Are you trying to go to a good place after you die or a bad place after you die? Like the creator of this universe, would they be happy with you like not providing for your family, not being the best husband that you can be, not being the best version of yourself as you can be. In July 2023, I was at 20K. And then October, I hit quickly within like 3 months again, 25K, right? From 20 to 25K in just boom like that. Whereas this right here, 5K to 10K, it was the hardest because it was changing yourself. But when I understood my purpose, when I understood that consistency, when I understood that building was the key, it allowed me to just boom like that and explode. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys today. And that's what I teach all my private members and my students, right? Now, from 30K now, 30K, from 25 to 30K, what I learned is building a team, like hiring A's and not B's, because you have A players, B players, and C players. And B players, a lot of businesses fail because they hire B players, where these guys, they just want to be above the C's, which is employees. They just want to have an ego trip. This is kind of like when I was working at KFC as my first job. All the managers in there, they have a power trip. They have an inner ego that they got to fulfill. But hiring A's is where you realize that the A's are people that don't do it for the money. They work on their purpose. What is the greater impact that we're going to achieve here? Are we helping humanity? Are we helping the state of the world? Are we bringing people to a better place in the world, in the next world? So A's, they don't are motivated by money. And also doing this, creating efficient systems. Systems is a thing that is so complex, and I can make a whole new video about it that will change your life. When you take that strategy into your business, you're able to just like boom. Now, time allocation based on leverage. So doing things that, push the business forward. Like if you're a chef and you're best at doing cooking, you should only be cooking. You shouldn't be cleaning. If you're an artist, you shouldn't be doing accounting. You should just be with your pad and your pen and your paintbrushes and creating. Same as accountant. Accountant should not be the face of the brand. He's great with the numbers. So allocation based on leverage. And I can give you some proof, which is like, check out this time right here. This is 2.2K in a day on 24th of February, 2024. Right, I'm making $2,000 a day at one of my potentials. So as you can see, like this, I'm not bullcrapping. Like I have receipts for this. And the things that I only would teach what I know, okay? Now, from 30 to 50K, you see, this is where I'm personally at. So I won't give you advice further than this because I only teach you what I know and what works, okay? So what I realized is that the past stages, everything before this was literally work. Every single one of these is just work. Putting in the work and how, time you put in, how much effort you put in, how much you optimize to increase your focus during that work. And the new stage now is, making the right decisions. And all you really need to get to 10K is the balls to start, the brains to learn, and the heart to never quit. All of these are super important. You see, a lot of you guys may have already started, but you guys haven't developed the brains to learn. You haven't invested in yourself. You haven't put yourself in environments where you're looking to learn. Probably right now, your environment isn't a learning environment. Like in your barbershop, you probably have people in there that don't push you to grow, like are very comfortable. Friends and family are very comfortable. So you're not always learning. So these are the only 3 things that you really need to get to 10K. And what will help you with your heart to never quit is understanding your why and your goals. Find your purpose. Is it your family? Are you doing this to provide for them? Is it wealth? Are you trying to build generational wealth for your family in the future? Are you trying to leave a legacy? Are you just trying to escape the rat race where you don't want to become average? Are you trying to become the best version of yourself in every area of your life? You can steal these. Take these. My first purpose was becoming the best version of myself in every single area and facet of my life. The stronger and deeper you can go, the better. Because he who knows his why can bear any how. So that why will make you so much stronger, because every time when there's slightest sign of struggle, anytime when there's discomfort or fear, you just fall back on your why. And that will push you to why waking up so early every single day, going through that pain, going through the stresses of cutting, going through the stresses of like sweating bullets when your camera's out and your client's there. Now let's talk about the how. That comes through mastery. The way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. Just like what I said, you don't have business problems, you have personal problems that bleed into your business. Some tactical examples of this is like having a messy room will correlate to having a messy workspace, to having a messy business. Not pushing yourself in the gym. will be not pushing yourself to new limits in business, not tracking your personal expenses, which means not tracking small business costs, which end up in financial mismanagement, being consistently late, which means missed business opportunities, not setting boundaries in your personal life means not setting work boundaries and getting stepped over. Next is frequently snacking on junk food, making unhealthy business choices, leading to short-term gains over long-term success. So you can clearly see that like the way you do one thing is the way you do every single thing. Whether you like it or not, if you think that in your personal life you're different to your business life, you're totally mistaken because they are exactly linked. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. That mindset right there will bleed in your business because you are the exact mirror of your life. And if you only allow excellence in your life, that will be the standard. Because standards is just tolerating. Do you tolerate that behavior and that circumstance in your life? A person with higher standards doesn't tolerate something that is not within their mirror of competence. So is your standards lower in your personal life? And then in business, you have high standards, but you feel like you can't achieve it? Is because your personal life doesn't match up with the standards of your business standards. You got to make both standards the same thing so then it's an exact mirror, personal and business. Now I'm going to give you the concrete weekly planner. Through this, we're going to be generating consistent results through this barber schedule, okay? We're going to have structured success and it's literally time blocking. We're developing a concrete schedule on things that you must do every single day to hit your targets to move you closer towards your goals. So you have to ask yourself, what are my goals? What is my income goal? What is my business goal? What is my fitness goal? What is my goal with my family, my social? You know what I mean? You have to have thought these out. And you have to think, okay, how many hours do I need to edit if I want to get 2 videos out, if, for example, for your business goal? What do I have to do to achieve X? We do this through our weekly planner. So you develop your own weekly planner, but I'm going to show you the planner that I use when I was reaching to 15K a month. So this is the exact planner that I used when I was in fight camp, right? When I was competing for my first few Muay Thai fights, and then the schedule that was going to get me to 15K. There's the details right here, like created in Jan 2nd, 2023. Okay, let's look. 2023, February. So I set this goal. I created this a month before. And then within a month, boom, I hit it. See, this is called structured success. This is exactly what I mean. I'm not bullcramming this. This is literally the date that I created it. So I would separate my business tasks, so all my business tasks, into one, literally like content ideas, editing 2-piece. See this? Preparing my content schedule, daily tracking this, making sure that each one is getting ticked off. Posting. So each day I would post, and then on my Sunday, I would reset and do an ice plunge because all the heavy lifting I was doing, all the training I was doing. And then this would be my personal tasks, making sure that I hit prayer every single morning, no phone, laundry, all these stuff like clean room, like making sure every single area of my life was dialed in. And my training now, I was training 2 times a day. I was doing full body. I was doing Muay Thai right here, right? 2 classes, and then do a 5K run, lower body, Muay Thai. So training twice a day, deaf bike. And throughout this, I have my editing schedule. See, I was editing how many days? So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was editing 5 days a week. And then down here, I have my non-negotiables, things that I must do every single day. So I must have to post content every single day. I have to do a cold shower in the morning and then after cutting. So because after I cut, I realized that damn, bro, I just sit on my phone and do jack all, and I just sit down while all that mess is piling up. I procrastinate to clean it up. So I was like, you know what? Every time I finish cutting, I take a cold shower to give me more energy so I can do work. See, you have to understand yourself when you're at certain pain points. This is why you understand with data and feedback. Every time you do a self-feedback on yourself, seeing okay, I know myself, now I'm going to do this, okay? No more side tangent. Sleep at 10:30, no phone after 8 p.m., no phone during training because I was sometimes I scroll. After cutting hair, no phone. Pray 5 times a day. As you know, I'm a believer and I believe in God. And 3 to 4 liters of water. Stretch every training session and then read before bed. So this is what kept me going. You need to create one of these yourself. You need to create your own template and what will work for you, because what will work for me might not work for you. And this is a great way to see if it works for you. So you can get this exact template. This is like a nice like one to start you off to gain some momentum. Okay, so you can put all your thing in here. All you do is you click file and then press make a copy, and you can get this own, and you can make your own like thing. I have my reference here, so you can, make a copy of that. This one's going to be a juicy one now. Proven strategies to building a loyal barbering clientele. This is literally what I did to increase my retention, increase the way that I cut hair, the way that I deal with clients. First off, right? Through a quality product, a customer will withstand any horrible service. Okay? So increase your haircut quality and your product, and people will consistently rebook with you. That's retention. Rebooking is basically retention, how long you can retain a person. Because at the end of the day, that's all people care about. All they care about is how good the product is. For example, let's just look at a restaurant. Let's look at an Asian restaurant to be specific. Their food is so fire. Don't even lie. Asian food or like immigrant food, like African food, Middle Eastern food, it's so fire. It's so good. But the service is oftentimes horrible. But you still go back there. You still go back because the product is so good that you will withstand the service for that product. That's why your product matters so much. But if you have the service as well and the experience as well, you freaking print money like Nobu has, like one of the famous like Hell's Kitchen. Even if you have a quality product, that doesn't mean you become a D-bag. Don't be a douche. And this is the thing that no one talks about in the barbering industry. No one talks about being a good person. Remember, trust is the currency of barbering. So being a likable person is a high leverage skill. When you first meet someone, the first sign of competence is their ability to communicate. So I'm going to give you some social tips to providing a good experience for your client. Okay, let's talk about the first one. The power of a genuine smile. You do this and smile when you first see your client and at the end when saying bye. This is super powerful and people underestimate it because a smile creates a very powerful effect on interactions. It's very warm, it creates a lot of goodwill, it's inviting, you're more approachable, and everyone can read energy. Like let's say a dog. When a dog comes up, you're like, and it's like giving you energy and it's like you can't help but to give it energy back. You're like, hey, yeah, what's going on, boy? Like, you okay? So you can't help but to give energy back. Let's talk about like a baby. This is a proven case study, and this is actually like, you can search this up. This is what happened. In a doctor's waiting lounge, the environment isn't that great. Everyone's just impatiently waiting, trying to get there. Everyone's sick, not a great vibe. The people in there didn't have the greatest mood. But when the baby stool came in and the mother came in, sat down right next to a man, and the baby looks up to the man. He gives it like a nice smile. It goes like, and then the guy's like, huh? Like, you can't help but to smile back. When someone smiles at you, you can't help but to smile back. And then all of a sudden he had like a feeling. So he started talking to the mother. And then through that, the receptionist like was listening because it was quiet. And then through that, they formed like the whole environment just changed through just the power of one smile. See, energy is contagious. That's why maybe when you're like reviewing this video, you're feeling a certain way. Energy is contagious. I have a lot of energy right now because I love doing this. I love helping people. I love making videos like this. And I love pushing people to grow their business and make more and increase their quality of life. So next one is making the client feel heard and important. This is a great skill to have socially because when you let other people do all the talking by asking more questions and being a good listener, they feel a certain way. And at the end of the day, it's not about what you feel. No one cares about what you feel. They only care about themselves. People only watch your content for themselves. People only book with you. People only your friends. People that only talk to you for themselves. They want to get benefit. This is the natural law of human life. We can't change it, but this is the way that we operate. So we have to make other people feel heard and feel important. So we encourage others to talk about themselves. And people feel appreciated when they feel heard and valued. Let's say a guy comes in and the whole week his wife is just nagging him, his work's going crazy at him, his kids doing like chugging a poop in the corner. So he feels all the stress. So sometimes he just wants to be heard. People just want to feel like you're being listened to. And as a barber, it's a super high leverage skill to be able to be a good listener. And you can frame conversations around what your client is interested in and become genuinely interested, right? See it as an opportunity to learn from every situation. This is how I've been able to learn a lot at the age that I am of 22. I was able to learn when clients come in, I can read what they are. I started it treating it like a game. When high value client comes in, how well can I make the most out of my client where I learn, if he's a doctor, I learn about certain things. If he's a lawyer, I learn about things. If he's a mental coach or a life coach, I learn a certain thing about him, right? Treat it like a game. Next is empathy, seeing things from other person's point of view. When you're seeing them from a point of view, it will not only be able to understand your audience better, you are able to solve their problems better. So doing all this like indirectly correlates to you making more money because you're able to be putting yourself into the other person's shoe to feel how they feel when, let's say, they have a certain problem. That way you can use that piece of data in your content to make that thing blow because you connect with people more. Cool? One of a great book that has helped me as a barber, because barber is a social job as well, right? Like people don't talk about it, but it's like 30%, 40% social. And you have to be good at it because a lot of you guys are like dying, right? Maybe you guys don't even speak. So you need to make speaking seem easy for you. For me, speaking is easy. Back then I hated it. I wanted to be silent, but I trained it. And this helped me. How to influence people and win friends. This book is a great book. This is a link right here that goes towards it. This is a great book. Pick it up for $16. It will really help you understand people. And it's a very easy read. It's a great book. Retention techniques now. This is some real tactical tips that you can implement today to get people to rebook with you and get people like staying with your service. The first one is getting them to rebook straight after the haircut. For example, if you just cut them, that's the best time because they feel a certain way, they feel good, you're in person. A person in person is more likely to take action than a person through the screen. Try booking them on a day where you're normally empty. You can say like, hey bro, how's Monday 3 p.m. or Tuesday 3 p.m.? When someone says that, okay, right, cool, I'll be rebooked in 3 weeks. And you just keep doing that till you book out all your Mondays and Tuesdays or the days that you're more empty and have more availabilities. Next is posting showcases and your appointment slots on stories with your booking link. So for example, something like this where you put out your story and then you put out the slots that are available tomorrow or on the day that are like a certain day. And when someone takes it, you can even fake scarcity it. You can even just cross it out and cross two and these are actually your ways out. And when you do this, it creates urgency, it creates scarcity, it creates like a limited effect, right? And it can also remind them to book. So after this, I would put another story of a booking link and I would write like CTA, like your link, your DM, and then click that to book, right? It reminds them. Now, this is an underrated way that no one talks about, a hot towel edition. When you add hot towels, you immediately differentiate yourself from all the other barbers they've been to because a lot of people haven't probably had their first haircut, first fade, first certain thing. So when you show a differentiation between you and other people through like things that don't take that much more time but increases the feeling, it really differentiates you. So it's super dopamine inducing and it's really rewarding at the end. Like when you finish, all the hairs on you, you just wipe it off. So I want to teach you how to do this. Step one, you're going to get hot water and essential oils and you're going to dip it into the towels, right? And in the morning, then you place it in the warmer. Once the cut is done, you wipe their face, slowly wipe their face, and then wipe the back neck, and it's super nice. It only takes like 5-10 minutes in the morning to prepare, and then 2 to 3 minutes after the haircut, you increase your service just like that. These cost about like $100. These towels cost about like $30. Boom, you increase your service just like that. And if you implement all these tips, it would have increased the quality of your service by over 50 to 60%. And quick tip is that if you're in certain areas, for example, you're in a very hot location, you would use cold towels. Those work super well. When the seasons changed, I would put my cold towel in my mini fridge. Even adding like, soda or giving you some water, it just makes you more professional. You know what I mean? You don't have to put so much in where you're doing like face wax, eye masses, but you're just giving all these little nicer compliments, right? Now you're here on what you've been waiting for. I'm going to give you the blueprint to scale your haircut prices and give you the exact steps and the model that I used to get me from $90 a haircut to $250 in the span of like 6 months. We have to understand the barber business model, okay? So throughout this whole video, I talked a lot about product. What is a product? It's what a business makes or provides to sell to its customers. Next is, what is a service? A service is what a business provides as an action or task that someone does for you. The barber's product is your haircut quality. There's a lot of gray area into this, but the main like percentage is your haircut quality and how you showcase your social media. This is how you get new clients. This is how people go through the door because of your product. Same way like people buy Apple products because of how good the phone is and how well it used and how simple and it's just a great product. Now, what is a barber service? This is how you make the client feel and the experience. This will enhance client retention, just like those tips that I've given you. So how do we increase our quality and service at the same time? Two ways. Get more clients by advertising more and better, which will gain us more traffic, or making your clients worth more by raising your prices and increasing a scalable service, okay? So how do we do this? Let's talk about that high ticket barber business model again. This is what I showed you at the start so I can get in your monkey brains and I'm gonna break it down fully, okay? Right here, this section from here onwards, this is where we're improving our product and creating data. And then with this section over here, we are basically scaling our business so that we can free up more time. As a barber, you have to free up your time and increase your value of it. You see, barbers, they make $50 like cut, $60 a cut within 45 to an hour, and they're comfortable with that because that's more than the average. But the way you make your time worth more is by leveraging it and creating a system just like this. Just like the number one way to grow your business is 80% get more clients. 80% of business is to really gain more client. And the way to do that is posting content, advertising. There's many ways to advertise. There's paid ads, there's organic content, there's creative campaigns. But the main and most scalable way for barbering is content. It used to be word of mouth. It used to be cards. No. Posting content, okay? Posting content is the number one way to get clients, and we need to improve at posting content. A lot of you guys haven't even started step one and you're trying to scale, increase your prices. Start at step one, posting content, and increase this as you go. That's why we go to 2 to 3 first per week. Then we go to 4 to 5. Then we go to every single day, where we can get every single day we get traffic coming in through our content. We need to learn how to make the content convert from stranger to buyer. And when we do that, we get more clients. When we get more clients, we are able to handle a certain threshold. So you want to handle a certain amount where it's balanced, where you're able to grow your skill set as a barber that's trying to put out their work, like camera work skills, editing, and also deliver a high quality product. A lot of barbers, they have this fluctuation where like, let's say their product is really good, but they're not even posting at all. Or they're posting so much, but their product is trash. See, we need to have a right metric to understand how to improve our quality as well as our service, as well as our content at the same time. Once we do this, when we get to a certain level where we see like the key performance indicators, meaning like metrics to see if we're able to handle a price increase, we go increase it to get back more time. Get back more time, get back more freedom, so then we can leverage higher tasks, okay? Once we do that, we improve our content. And if we improve our content, what happens? We get more traffic, more clients, boom, and this thing just goes crazy. But where people fail with this is that they raise prices by 5 to 10 and they rely on like, oh bro, I'm booked out like 3 weeks in advance. They break their business trying to do this. Even like, I guarantee you 90% of you guys will look at this and your business will still fail, because it doesn't matter about if you know it, it's about how you execute it. You see, a lot of fat people like know that cake is not good for them and exercise is good for them, but they don't do both. You see, this is human psychology. Even though I'm telling you this, you still won't take action, okay? So they have no idea how to understand their business. They don't understand the important KPIs, the metrics that determine the health of the business, how to convert and understand the percentage between the conversions of strangers to clients and what their current clientele quality is. Some of you guys think that, oh yeah, at $40 a cut, yeah, my clients are cool, man. They will never leave me. Bro, you don't understand what your clientele quality is, right? So how do we understand each step? We have to shift your focus to the inputs required. What is required for us to actually get through that first stage? Instead of mentally masturbating on how to raise your prices and result, focus on executing each stage and the process, and the results will come. The first step for you right now is to focus on content. Focus on capturing attention. That's all you need to focus on. You need to be patient with the outputs, which is the result, and be impatient with the inputs. Worry about what your next step is. Don't worry about the end result. Don't put your focus at the end of the book. Focus on the chapter at hand. You're not going to be able to understand how to get to increase your prices, make these big moves, go to high prices when you haven't even started at chapter 2 or chapter 3, or you haven't even read the middle of the book. You got to focus on the task at hand and go through each stage first before you can even get to those outputs. So to wrap that all up, you need to be patient with the outputs and be impatient with the inputs. Then you have to be tracking your numbers. So how many new clients are coming in every month? In the last 30 days, exact number of haircuts done, right? How many did you do in that month? How many number of days that you do? And how many new clients cut? So those are things you need to track. I've been able to raise my prices so well is that I don't base my decisions in business on emotions. As a businessman, you have to make decisions based on logical decisions and metrics that are exact. A lot of you guys are going to be like, okay, I'll track and I know these numbers. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I did this much. I did this much. No, you need to know the exact number. Now, let's talk about financial tracking, okay? You have to track your cash flow of your weekly on your off days, okay? So like each week, it only takes like 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to track your expenses, which is your business expenses and your personal expenses. You have like things such as like whatever clipper it is, that's a business expense. You go out to eat, that's a personal expense. You buy a nice shirt, that's a personal expense. Then you're going to track all your income coming from your haircuts or your products. Doing this will restructure your financial bad habits, because right now, what you need to do is for the next 3 months, you're going to track your revenue and your expenses. And within these 3 months, you're going to have a lot of data now, because you know, okay, this month I made this much, this month I made this month. Oh, this week was bad. Second step, you're going to find the average weekly expense. So let's say you make $500, $700 next week, and then $600. Your minimum would be $600. Then you put that and you set that as your expense limit and your weekly allowance. So then you must have like a cap on it. You see, barbers, they make money. But the more money you make, the more it goes away. When you first started, you probably have equal amount of money. You're probably still on under 10K in the bank. Why? Is because of your bad financial habits. You need to fix these. And it literally only takes 15 to 20 minutes, okay, per week. So this is the start for us to gain momentum in financial literacy and being long-term orientated. Think of this as like level 1 in the content strategy. You know how we had like the tiers? The bottom tier was like just posting to gain momentum. Think of this like this. You need to restructure your financial bad habits. And if you're already tracking, great. What we do with our students is we have an accurate tracking system where all you do is you look at a bank account, you plug the numbers in, takes you 10 minutes like a week, and boom, you have all this data for us to plan you, to structure, to get you to like price raises, to get you to elevating your business and adding huge amount of revenue per month into your income. The reason why you do this is so then you can build capital, okay? What is capital? Basically, a lot of money in the bank. You want to dedicate certain amount you want to save each week, and then save as much as you can in the bank and reserve it into your bank, right? Let's say I make 1,000. I want to put 70% into my savings, which is $700. I want to have 20% into my personal expenses and my business expenses, which is $200. And then for $100, I'm going to invest that. I'm going to put that into books. I'm going to put that into index fund. I'm going to put that into crypto. I'm going to put that into something that will plan for my future ahead. When you're building a capital and you're able to have like all these money in the bank, it allows you to think long term instead of worrying about tomorrow's survival. So this is a quote that I came up with. The more you have in reserves for the future, the more you can let ideas formulate in the now. You see, you can't think about future and like your long-term strategy and your ultimate purpose is because all you're thinking about is next month. How am I going to afford? How am I going to like do this? Like, oh, you're constantly thinking about how can I survive, right? Even though it's not maybe physical, but it's financial. It's like, it's on the back of your mind. I know it. And I've been through it. That's why I know it, okay? So look, the information in this course genuinely has the power to completely change your life. So I hope that you went through this, took a bunch of notes, got a ton of value out of it. So now that we're at the end of this course, you've got three options. The first option is to let this be another video you watch and do nothing with it at all. Of course, that's going to bring a sense of guilt, shame, knowing that you're not living to your fullest potential. You'll be left wondering what the heck is wrong with you. As you spend all of this time watching YouTube videos on how to make 10K per month as a barber, but never actually do anything about it. You can totally do that, but I don't want you to feel the way you're feeling anymore. So the second option you have is to finally take action on the information I've given you and go ahead and get started all by yourself. And that's great. If you take that action, then that's 100% a step above what you already recently been doing. But even though you have all of this information, it'd still be your first time doing this. And I know exactly what this feels like. I remember the first time I tried to raise my prices, first time I tried to press record, I had no idea what I was doing. I was making emotional decisions with no real tell if my business would collapse or grow or not. I lost a bunch of clientele, consistently contemplated on going back on my old pricing because I was scared that I was charging too much and all my clients would initially leave me for someone cheaper. But look, it's not your fault because you've never done this before. And honestly, it's not fun. I know that where you are right now isn't your fullest potential. So because of that, you've got a third option. Get help from someone who's gone through what you're experiencing right now, who's had the same conversations in their head, and have them help you finally find success. And I know that if you're at the end of this video, you're serious. And I know that being a barber is your passion and the best way for you to get not only reach your first 10K per month, but 20K in profit. And if we're being honest, if you're not already having a packed out calendar, charging $100 per cut and making the money that you know you want to be making as a businessman, then you definitely need some help. This is why I'm offering my private mentorship where me and my team will hold your hand every step of the way and will force you to succeed and scale to hit your first 10K per month, then your first 20K. And I'm so confident that this works, I will literally guarantee you a price raise in 90 days or you don't pay. I've already been able to make tens of thousands of dollars per month in my own business, but it's messages like these that keep me going with my own students. So here's what it's going to be like if we accept you to join the mentorship. I'll provide you a personalized 90-day action plan to guarantee this price raise, detailing every action, every step you need to make to eliminate this guesswork. Then I'll hold you accountable through our multiple weekly calls, optimizing your TikTok and your Instagram to convert views into bookings. We'll even tailor your content style to your personality and skill level with follow-along videos and cheat sheets to guide you. You'll learn to edit and optimize your videos for virality, and I'll even get my own editor to fully edit a video for you. From there, I'll show you how to find a perfect long-term video editor, saving you tons of time and money that you would have spent on the wrong editors. Trust me, I've had this issue and I went through this issue for you. And finally, within these 90 days, once you've already gained a bunch of new clientele, I'll review your business metrics to determine how much you should increase your prices by without affecting your stream of steady clientele. But if you want to keep on wondering where your next clientele is going to come from, being envious and jealous of the barbers on social media, living the life that you want to live, tired of the shop that's taking all your profits, again, I can't stop you. But what I can do, and that is my next offer, is fly out to you one-on-one, hands-on, and implement all the knowledge from this whole course, but everything that I know. Whilst having some dinner, maybe grab a slice of pizza, chop it up. So if you want to take action on this opportunity, then all you have to do is simply apply and click the link in the description, and hopefully you get selected as the right fit.